Chapter 33:12. Hearing this, Qin Yin suddenly thought of those divine sun descendants. Their reproductive power is very terrifying. Barbarian race is indeed very powerful, but their reproductive power was very poor in the past. Now, not only they no longer have this weakness, their reproductive power has also become even faster. According to the strength and reproductive power of barbarians, as long as they continue to grow stronger, more than half of the humans in Divine Desolate will be barbarians. Divine Desolate does not belong to you, and it also does not welcome you. But since you are here, you must abide by the order of Divine Desolate. Qin Yin said, "Order? Only with great power can we establish order. As long as we are strong enough, we will be the order." Bloodthirsty Barbarian King said, "Qin Yin, in fact, even if you defeat our 10 barbarian kings and our barbarian emperor, our entire barbarian race will not acknowledge you unless you exterminate us." While speaking, Bloodthirsty Barbarian King rushed towards Qin Yin and quickly punched. His other hand also took out a saber and slashed towards Qin Yin's waist. Qin Yin floated in the air, always vigilant of his opponent. He sensed his opponent's movement and immediately dodged. After narrowly dodging Bloodthirsty Barbarian King's attack, he suddenly raised his hand and released Sun Heavenly Shield. His opponent's speed is very fast, and his movement technique is very strange. Qin Yin judged that he would not be able to continuously dodge, so he can only release Sun Heavenly Shield the moment he dodged. Sure enough, Bloodthirsty Barbarian King's next attack is very fast. He suddenly arrived above Qin Yin and chopped down with 2 sabers. Qin Yin's entire body is protected by Sun Heavenly Shield. Although he blocked the extremely fast sabers, he was still hit by an extremely strong power and fell to the ground. His feet landed on the ground, causing the earth to shake violently. Although the earth cracked, the crack is not very big. 9 Sun Holy Lands earth is very hard and can absorb most of the energy. Now the earth is not so easy to break. It cannot be casually cracked. This means that Divine Desolate is becoming stronger and stronger. It must be known that Qin Yin and Bloodthirsty Barbarian King are both extremely strong. The energy waves released by their battle will quickly dissipate between heaven and earth. This is because the earth's absorption power is very strong and can quickly absorb these energy waves. Qin Yin could keenly sense that Deity Desolate's growth was much faster than he had imagined. In the blink of an eye, Qin Yin and the Bloodthirsty Barbarian King had exchanged hundreds of blows. The process of their battle was so fast that the magic mirror couldn't capture it and couldn't broadcast it live on the magic mirror platform. Even the experts present had to watch very carefully in order to barely catch the trajectory of the two in the air, as well as their moves. Qin Yin was strong enough to make the Celestial Arch of Exalted Celestial Sect kneel before him. And this Bloodthirsty Barbarian King was actually able to fight evenly with Qin Yin. This made everyone present realize just how powerful the barbarians were. Qin Yin was not suppressed by his opponent. Instead, he had the upper hand. The Bloodthirsty Barbarian King's face was incomparably grave. He began to realize that Qin Yin was much stronger than the 10 barbarian kings and the barbarian emperor had expected. During the battle with the Bloodthirsty Barbarian King, Qin Yin did not use his strongest power. This was because he had discovered from the very beginning that the power used by the Bloodthirsty Barbarian King was not divine cosmos force. This caused Qin Yin to be very shocked. This showed that the Bloodthirsty Barbarian King was no longer at the divine space realm. His strength had surpassed the divine space realm, but it had not surpassed it. The power that Qin Yin used now would not be taken away by the laws of the universe. He called it the lawless power. And the power of the Bloodthirsty Barbarian King was very different from his lawless power. Therefore, he was very curious and did not use all his power. He wanted to continue to observe the power of the Bloodthirsty Barbarian King and secretly collect a little more to study. This guy's power is very different from my lawless power. What kind of power is this? Is it a new realm? Qin Yin was even more puzzled. If it was the same power as him, he would be able to feel it. This feeling was very subtle, As long as he felt it, he could immediately detect it. This guy is very strong, but his power is not as strong as my lawless power. How did he cultivate? He has clearly surpassed the limits of the divine space realm, but he is not as strong as me. If his power is not divine space force, then what kind of power is it? Qin Yin was very curious. He tried his best to fight in close combat with his opponent so that he could collect more of his opponent's power, store it, and then take it back to study. After fighting for a while, the bloodthirsty barbarian king had a very strange feeling. He always felt that Qin Yin was only a little stronger than him. As long as he worked a little harder, he would be able to defeat Qin Yin. It was this feeling that caused him to fight with all his might. But no matter what, he was always a little bit away from breaking through Qin Yin's defense or hitting Qin Yin. Not long after, the bloodthirsty barbarian king was shocked to discover that Qin Yin was deliberately controlling his power, which gave him this illusion. During the battle, the control of power was so precise and subtle that it was difficult for the opponent to detect it. This made the bloodthirsty barbarian king horrified. Qin Yin's body was reborn from the beginning. The lawless power he cultivated was very mysterious and strange. Even he himself was still unable to fully understand how to use this power. The power of the lawless power was still unearthed. Qin Yin himself could also feel it. "Let your barbarian emperor come." Qin Yin suddenly grabbed the wrist of the bloodthirsty barbarian king. Before, Qin Yin always had to dodge or block the extremely powerful slash of the bloodthirsty barbarian king. But now, Qin Yin made his move like lightning. When he grabbed the bloodthirsty barbarian king's wrist, he poured in his power and dispersed the power gathered in the bloodthirsty barbarian king's body. "You?" The bloodthirsty barbarian king's face was filled with shock. Qin Yin forcefully pulled, and the bloodthirsty barbarian king's arm was directly pulled off. Then, he pushed his palm again. Immediately, golden light flashed, and the bloodthirsty barbarian king was sent flying far away. When the golden light flashed just now, Qin Yin conveniently put away the arm. When the group of barbarians saw that their bloodthirsty barbarian king was suddenly severely injured, their faces were filled with fear. The people inside the Emperor's city, as well as the big shots of the major powers, are also very surprised. This is too sudden, because Qin Yin and the bloodthirsty barbarian king were evenly matched before. But in the blink of an eye, Qin Yin ripped off the barbarian king's arm. His strength suddenly increased by a lot. This made many people can't help but think so. Qin Yin and the bloodthirsty barbarian king were just playing around? This is even more shocking. Why didn't you kill me? The bloodthirsty barbarian king has lost his will to fight. I want to let the barbarian emperor see the wound I left on you. After he sees it, he should come and fight me. Qin Yin said, "If I kill you directly, he might not come." Qin Yin, we have all underestimated you. The barbarian emperor's voice suddenly sounded. "I know who you want to fight with. Don't regret it when the time comes. That guy is already on the way." Chapter 33:13. Barbarian Emperor could already tell that Qin Yin wanted to fight the Nine Heavens divine Yang Dharma spirit. This meant that Barbarian Emperor had a better understanding of the heavenly cemetery mountain. Qin Yin knew that the Nine Heavens divine Yang Dharma spirit was very strong, but he had to face it because it was a very powerful threat. If he couldn't suppress it, it would definitely bring great trouble to the Ninth Divine Yang in the future. Although he had taken over the Daluo Empire and seemed to be in complete control of the entire Daluo Empire, only he knew that the situation was not as it seemed. He was still surrounded by danger. One is the mysterious and powerful Barbarian Emperor. He said that he is fighting with the Nine Yang Law spirit. If it is true, then it means that Barbarian Emperor's realm has long surpassed the limit. The second was the Nine Heavens godly Yang Dharma spirit that was about to arrive. It had just come out of the Tian Mao mountain, and no one knew where it had gone. Since the Barbarian Emperor was in contact with him, it meant that they were in cahoots. The third was Luo Yingtian. Qin Yin has a nagging feeling that Luo Yingtian is not that simple, but he can't see anything. Luo Yingtian's main soul was in his hands, and his original body had already been destroyed by him. The only thing that could still move was his doppelganger. From the looks of it, there was no threat at all. However, this was the most terrifying part. Qin Yun clearly knew that there was something odd about the matter, but he could not see through it. He could not find any flaws. The final danger was the universe's magical spirit that was about to transform into a human. At that time, he would definitely surpass the control of the universe's laws and would be extremely terrifying. These dangers had to be faced one by one and resolved. Even if he didn't face them, they would find him sooner or later. Therefore, he could not retreat, nor could he be afraid. The bloodthirsty barbarian king had already gone far away, and the group of perfectly evolved barbarians had also followed the bloodthirsty barbarian king far away from Daluo Emperor City. In the sky, far away from the imperial city, there were many large warships hovering in the air. The leaders of the major forces were in those warships. When they saw the bloodthirsty barbarian king being defeated by Qin Yun, they suddenly understood why Luo Yingtian admitted defeat. It was because with Luo Yingtian's present strength, it was simply impossible for him to defeat Qin Yun. If he didn't admit defeat, then the entire great Luo Empire would be destroyed. Qin Yun was a godly monarch. He urgently needed to display his might. As long as Luo Yingtian admitted defeat and followed the rules established by Qin Yun and accepted the punishment of the divine court of the myriad worlds, he would be able to survive the crisis temporarily. Otherwise, Luo Ying would really die. You want to gang up on me? Or are they going to besiege the Daluo Empire? Hurry up and attack. Qin Yun's voice spread in all directions. All the big shots of the various factions could hear him clearly. Our Nine Heavens Island doesn't have such thoughts. The Nine Heavens Island Lord said, Sir, our Nine Heavens Island may be a grand prime organization, and it's also within the sacred land of the Nine Sun, but we've never slaughtered the local races outside the sacred land, nor have we taken over the resources of other races. The resources we occupy are all ownerless. Nine Heavens Island was very mysterious and seldom came out. Indeed, it did not attack the clans outside the sacred land. Qin Yun knew this as well. Nine Heavens Island Lord, I heard that your Nine Heavens Island is very strong. I didn't expect that you all are actually so cowardly. The one speaking was Heavenly Emperor Hualing. How are we cowards? You, on the other hand, are powerful enough to occupy a large amount of resources and precious land in the Nine Sun sacred ground, but you're still not satisfied. You even ran out of the sacred ground to kill the native tribes. I think you guys are the real cowards. If you have the guts, why don't you go and kill the barbarians for training? The Nine Heavens Island Lord chuckled and said, Heavenly Emperor Hualing, you guys are from the outer verse. You should be more well-behaved. Qin Yun became even more curious about this Nine Heavens Island. He couldn't help but link them to the Nine Heaven Divine Sun Law Spirit. Nine Heavens Island Lord reminded Qin Yun that Heavenly Emperor Hualing's main body was here, inside the large battleship that was emitting flames. These large battleships had consumed a lot of energy at the Heavenly Cemetery Mountain not long ago, so their current defensive power was definitely weaker. This was the best time to attack them. Qin Yun already started forming hand seals and secretly activated the Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture. He hasn't used this powerful technique for a long time. Now, his control over the Nine Sun Divine Spirit has improved a lot compared to before, and the Divine Sun inside is also getting stronger and stronger. Compared to before, there's even an evil Sunday. Right now, he is activating the Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture to release the Great Tribulation mainly through the Nine Sun Divine Spirit, and then borrowing the power of the four Divine Suns. The Nine Heavens Island's large battleship has already flown away from the group of battleships. That large battleship looks like an island. The battleships of the other Taishur factions and the three empires, as well as some small kingdoms, are still gathered together. These factions have either massacred the local strong races outside the sacred land or have declared that they will fight against the myriad realms' divine court. They have even fought with the deity gods of the myriad realms' divine court and even killed them. Therefore, Qin Yun will not let them go. In that case, they must unite to fight against Qin Yun. Suddenly, 9 huge balls of light appeared in the sky, followed by a terrifying dragon's might. Luo Shuang and Luo Yaya are together at this moment. Sensing such a terrifying aura, they immediately entered the imperial palace of Great Luo Imperial City. The earth trembled slightly. Everyone can feel that a terrifying great tribulation is about to descend. 9 Sun World Extermination Scripture? This is too terrifying. This power has already far surpassed the divine space realm. No, even the power released by the peak of the divine space realm is about the same. Luo Shuang looked at the sky in horror. Although Qin Yun's target is not Great Luo Imperial City, everyone in the city is terrified by the 9 huge light balls in the sky. They only feel that a great calamity is about to descend. He borrowed the power of the 4 divine suns. Luo Yaya looked at the 9 incomparably huge light balls in the sky and mumbled, "They look like 9 small divine suns, and they also have an evil aura. What's going on?" Among the few divine suns in Qin Yun's 9-sun divine soul, the strongest is Xie Yang. This is because the universe law spirit specially strengthened this divine sun to preserve the divine sun blood seed. Therefore, he released the world extermination calamity and released a large amount of Xie Yang's power. As long as he can use it properly, this Xie Yang divine power will make the other divine sun's divine power even more violent and intense. Calamities must be like this. Only then will they have enough destructive power to destroy. The big shots inside the battleships are also secretly afraid. Some of the big shots saw the 9 huge light balls in the sky gradually turning black and immediately controlled their battleships to move away. They realized that Qin Yun is about to release an evil and terrifying calamity. Once it descends, it will definitely cause great damage to their battleships. The battleships of the 3 great empires and other Taisher powers did not move. Moreover, they also shouted at the other small kingdoms not to run. This is a very important moment. Their alliance is facing Qin Yun alone. If they were to flee, then they would not be able to survive in the God Desolate anymore. I want to chat with more like-minded people about $article_title. WeChat followed Yudu literature. Chat about life. Find bosom friends. Chapter 33:14. The evil energy released by Qin Yun caused many people to be shocked, especially those who became familiar with Qin Yun recently, such as Phoenix Queen, Dragon Turtle King, 9 Dragon King, and others. In their eyes, Qin Yun is a very righteous person. He should not have such evil power. According to common sense, only people who are very evil can cultivate such evil and powerful evil energy. Only people familiar with Qin Yun know that this is Qin Yun's strongest state. After Qin Yun entered the extreme evil devil state, he could erupt with even greater power. Evil devil power is violent and powerful. As long as one can control it, one can use this power. Luo Shuang's scalp is numb. She has seen people who cultivate evil devil power. Most of them are people with extremely twisted thoughts. They can't maintain their rationality. They're completely swallowed by evil consciousness. They will go crazy easily. But Qin Yun is releasing such powerful evil power now. He is terrifyingly calm. He can use this power very calmly. Luo Shuang was once the 9 heavens goddess. She knows very well that it is very difficult to control this kind of evil devil power. Even lost spirits can't do it. Evil devil power is very powerful. But people who cultivate this power can't control in the end. They're swallowed by the evil devil power. They become walking corpses that only know how to slaughter. Evil yang power is really powerful. It doesn't disappoint me. This is the first time Qin Yun released such powerful evil yang power. The power also surprised him. This strengthened his determination to create devil yang in the future. Evil yang and devil yang must work together to reach the peak of power. Qin Yun, you really are an evil devil. Heavenly Emperor Hua Ling shouted angrily. You can use such powerful evil power, You must have cultivated evil Tao for many years. Idiot, if I really am an evil devil, why would I give you the chance to escape? Qin Yun sneered. You really don't plan to escape? Qin Yun really gave them the chance to escape. If the other party's alliance fled, everyone in Divine Desolate would see it clearly. Everyone knows that they are afraid of the Divine King. Moreover, after they flee, Qin Yun also has a way to chase after them. At that time, everyone will see Qin Yun single-handedly killing the Empire and Taisha forces. We have never been afraid of you. Heavenly Hong Empire's Heavenly Emperor said calmly. Today, we will enforce justice on behalf of heaven and eliminate this evil devil Qin Yun. The divine wilderness must not be controlled by this evil demon. The great blue sky, the arch said coldly. Qin Yun thought nothing of such claims. Long ago, they had used the magic mirror to smear his name. In the gods' wilderness, as long as one's strength reached a certain level, there was nothing to fear. You fellows from the outer verse, now that you're my territory, not only are you not obedient, but you're also acting all arrogant and rude. Today, it's time for you to pay the price. The 9 black gas masses that Qin Yun had condensed in the air were like 9 pitch-black little evil suns. At this moment, they were trembling slightly, which meant that the condensed power was about to exceed the limits of Qin Yun's control. Those empires and grand prime powers also thought about breaking the 9 black energy balls, but they didn't dare because they know Qin Yun cultivates Nether Sunday. If they crazily attacked the 9 balls of black gas, they would only provide energy. In fact, that was indeed the case. That was why Qin Yun dared to release it in such a high-profile manner. He could not wait for the other party to provide energy for their attacks. Unfortunately, those big shots did not fall for it. At that moment, Qin Yun's entire body was shrouded in black gas. He looked extremely evil, especially when he revealed a row of spotlessly white teeth and smiled. He looked extremely evil. Go! Qin Yun immediately urged the tribulation to erupt. 9 ear-splitting dragon roars suddenly echoed. This kind of roar is not only shocking, it also causes people's blood to stand on end. This is the 9-dragon brilliant sun tribulation. 9 incomparably huge evil black dragons suddenly rushed out of the 9 huge energy balls, blotting out the sky and covering the sun. Great Luo Imperial City was instantly enveloped in darkness. The sky within a radius of several 100,000 li has been blotted out by the 9 evil dragons. The evil dragons crazily roared, bringing with them a vast and evil aura. They charged down from the sky as if they want to destroy the earth. Seeing this scene, many people trembled from head to toe. Even if those battleships try to run away, they would still be hit by this great tribulation. The dragons are very big. They can swallow several battleships in one gulp. What is even more dreadful is that just as the 9 dragons rushed out of the black gas balls, the second batch of 9 dragons came out of the black gas balls. Boom, boom, boom. The dragons roared and attacked the earth from the sky, enveloping the battleships and erupting waves of black energy, unceasingly shaking and producing loud, rumbling sounds. Just as the first batch of 9 evil dragons dropped down, the second batch immediately followed. Then the third, fourth, fifth, each batch has 9 evil dragons, making a total of 9 batches. Qin Yun released 9 Dragon Brilliance Sun Tribulation several times before, but it was not the most complete one. The 9 Dragon Brilliance Sun Tribulation he is using now is the most complete one, but it is still not the strongest. To reach the strongest, he needs to gather 9 divine suns in his 9-sun divine soul or mobilize the power of all the divine suns in the sky. Only then can he release the strongest tribulation. Great Luo Imperial City's Great Luo people are all trembling with fear. Previously, Qin Yun planned to use this move to attack Great Luo Imperial City. Can Great Luo Imperial City withstand it? No one can say for sure, but the people in the city believe that they cannot withstand it. That is why Great Luo Heavenly Emperor admitted defeat. Luo Shuang finally understands why Qin Yun dares to attack the city alone. This nine-sun world extermination scripture is too dreadful. Heaven and earth are enveloped by evil black energy. Sunlight cannot penetrate the black energy. Those large battleships have already crashed to the ground. It is unknown whether the big shots inside are alive or dead. Even if they are alive, they would not dare to fight against Qin again. This should be Nine Dragon Brilliance, Sun Tribulation, Luo Yaya said in low voice. She was also scared earlier. This power is simply capable of destroying heaven and earth. Is this the only move of Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture? Luo Shuang asked. Of course not. Divine King should only be able to use the simplest moves. I don't know too much about it. I only know that he rarely uses Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture. The simplest moves are already so dreadful, then wouldn't the other moves be even more dreadful? The black, evil energy in heaven and earth was quickly absorbed back into the Nine Sun Divine Soul. When the sunlight reappeared, a large number of large battleships crashed to the ground outside the Imperial City. The scene is very shocking. Hundreds of thousands of meters long battleships were all shot down by a single person. This person is the Divine King of Divine Desolate. I want to chat with like-minded people about $article_title. $article_title on WeChat and follow Udo Literature to chat about life and find a bosom friend. Chapter 33:15. The fallen battleship was still very sturdy. It was only damaged and lost the ability to fly, but did not fall apart. However, there were many cracks. Most of the people in the battleship were injured to varying degrees. After all, this was a series of 9 attacks. After the first 2 or 3 attacks, the defenses of these large warships could not withstand it, and they cracked and fell to the ground. After landing on the ground, they continued to be battered and battered. The evil tribulation power was filled with destructive power, and without enough power, it was impossible to resist. The world that had regained its calm was still enveloped by a terrifying might, causing people to feel an indescribable sense of fear from the bottom of their hearts. This was especially so for the battleship that had just been bombarded. Only the group of big shots were not injured, while the others were all injured. There were tens of thousands of people in total, and they did not dare to stay in the battleship. When they came out of the battleship, there seemed to be a terrifying force brewing between heaven and earth. Was another calamity coming? Even though Luo Shuang was into Luo Imperial City, she could clearly feel that terrifying influence spreading in her heart. Even her soul couldn't help but shiver. This time, Qin Yun's release of the calamity was silent. It wasn't like before when he created 9 gigantic black gas blobs floating in the air. What is it this time? Is it still the 9 dragons' glorious sun tribulation? Luo Shuang hurriedly asked Luo Yaya. I don't know. In the 9 sun world annihilation scripture, I only know of the 9 dragons' glorious sun tribulation. Qin Yun has used it many times. Luo Yaya quickly shook her head. She once collected a lot of information about Qin Yun. The information about the 9 sun world annihilation scripture was pitifully little. She only collected the 9 dragon glorious sun tribulation. I don't think it's the 9 dragons brilliant sun tribulation anymore. It should be something else. Luo Yaya added. While Qin Yun was preparing for the 9 dragons glorious sun tribulation, he was also preparing for another great tribulation. This great tribulation was also very powerful, and it mainly relied on the power of the 4 god sons. The energy of the 4 god sons was very powerful. It would be a waste not to use it. Especially now, he had to borrow the power of the 4 god sons. Otherwise, it might be cut off again in the future. The 4 god sun was a super god sun, and its energy was rather special. It was even a mother sun. Qin Yun had previously collected a large amount of energy from the 4 divine sons for research. Back then, he could not figure out anything from his research. He only knew that the energy of the 4 divine sons was different from others. As for the mother sun, that was what the 9 Yang divine maidens said. However, they did not understand the importance of the mother sun. But now, Qin Yun somewhat understood the special characteristics of the four divine suns. The reason why the four divine suns could produce special energy was because they were giving birth to a divine sun blood seed. He was just guessing. Under most circumstances, only Xie Yang and Demon Yang would be able to breed the god sun blood seed easily. It was extremely rare for a supersized divine sun to produce a divine sun lifeblood. Qin Yun also understood why it was called a Mother Sunday. To be able to produce a divine sun blood seed meant that the power of this super divine sun was very powerful. As one of the participants in the creation of the four divine suns, Qin Yun could borrow the power of the four divine suns. Although the amount of energy he borrowed was relatively small, it was still a very terrifying power after descending into the divine desolate. Qin Yun used the nine-sun world annihilation scripture to draw in more of the four divine suns' power. According to old brother Tai Shi, the nine-sun world annihilation scripture might be a type of divine sun cultivation technique. Therefore, the nine-sun world annihilation scripture mainly used the power of the divine sun. Qin Yun floated high in the sky, looking down at the group of people who are fleeing in panic. It is like looking at a group of ants that are about to die. However, the upper echelons of the three empires and the Taishu powers still have some strength after all. Moreover, they also realize that the disparity between them and Qin Yun is too great. Not only has Qin Yun surpassed the divine space realm, he can also borrow the power of the four divine suns. He doesn't even need to use any divine king heavenly seal. It is more than enough to deal with them. Their hearts are filled with hatred. If not for the universe robbing them of their cultivation, Qin Yun would be like a bug in their eyes. How could he be in such a sorry state now? Once, they dominated a universe and were invincible existences in the universe. Ever since their cultivation regressed and the power of the divine universe in their bodies was taken away, their lives were getting worse day by day. In the divine desolate, I am the heavenly tribulation. All of you can begin your tribulation now. After Qin Yun's voice spread out, countless violent thunder suddenly rushed down from the sky and crazily bombarded a large area of land in front of him. This wave of violent thunder descended and killed more than 10,000 people. Most of them suffered heavy injuries. After the thunder that reverberated through the sky faded away, waves of terrified screams came from the distance. The people inside the great Luo imperial city broke out in cold sweat. If this wave of thunder fell on the great Luo imperial city, millions of people would have died. They would have instantly turned into energy and dissipated. Even if they could block it, they would have suffered heavy injuries. Even the golden-skinned barbarians in the distance felt their hair stand on end. They're extremely afraid. Qin Yun used the sun-breaking heavenly lightning tribulation 9 times in a row. Every time thunder and lightning descended, it would cover a large area and take the initiative to attack any living beings in that area. The heavenly tribulation has not appeared for a very long time. Now that it has appeared again, it was summoned by the divine King Qin Yun. The sun-breaking heavenly lightning tribulation is still brewing. The second wave of violent thunder descended, and a large number of people were killed in endless fear. Just as the third lightning tribulation was about to descend, those people who were originally in despair suddenly sensed a very powerful aura. Qin Yun frowned. The person he was waiting for has finally arrived. He immediately released the third lightning tribulation. Not long after this lightning tribulation descended from the sky, it is as if it was caught by a huge, invisible net. These dreadful thunder and lightning became chaotic in the sky and unceasingly leaped up. It is as if they are fish struggling in a huge net. Seeing this scene, the Empire and Taishu powers people loudly cheered because they are saved. They know that the 9-heaven divine sun lost spirit has arrived. This is the human transformation lost spirit they released from the heavenly cemetery mountain. When the universe lost spirit told them to do this, they were very unwilling, but in the end, they still did it. Now, they finally know why the universe lost spirit released this formidable human transformation lost spirit. It is to suppress Qin Yun. The countless thunder and lightning leaping up in the sky did not disperse. Instead, they were condensed together by another power and transformed into a huge, sharp sword. The huge sword burst with thunder and lightning and suddenly stabbed towards Qin Yun like a bolt of lightning. This guy is truly powerful. Qin Yun immediately released a huge nether sun that floated above the emperor's city. The huge sword stabbed forward and entered the nether sun. It is as if it entered a bottomless pit of darkness. There is not a single ripple. Qin Yun stored the nether sun and looked at the middle-aged man in front of him. This is the nine-heaven divine sun law spirit. Seeing this person's appearance, Qin Yun is shocked. Luo Shuang is even more shocked. She is completely stunned because this person's appearance is exactly the same as Luo Yingtian. Chapter 33:16. Wasn't this Luo Yingtian? Why did he look exactly like Luo Yingtian? Qin Yun, Luo Shuang, and the other big shots of the empires were filled with questions. They could be sure that this person who looked exactly like Luo Yingtian was the nine-heaven divine Yang Law spirit that came out of Heaven's Cemetery Mountain. Even if he wasn't Luo Yingtian, he must be related to Luo Yingtian. Otherwise, they wouldn't look the same. We meet again. Back then, you were just a baby. I didn't expect you to grow so fast. It hasn't been many years, and your strength has already reached this level. You have grown very successfully. All right, let me introduce myself. I am Nine Heaven Law Spirit. Nine Heaven Law Spirit said with a smile. Qin Yun was startled. He had actually met this middle-aged man when he was a baby. He had many baby periods. He didn't know which period he was talking about. We have met before? Qin Yun asked. Yes, you were just created back then. Nine Heaven Law Spirits said, it hasn't been that long. Qin Yun was even more shocked. He had just been created during the Heaven Creation Divine Palace period. It was his first life, but this man had met him before. And he said that it hadn't been that long. Then are you an enemy or a friend? Qin Yun could sense that this man was very strong. If they fought, he had no chance of winning. We will not be friends, nor will we be enemies. If our paths are different, then we will eventually face each other and have no choice but to destroy each other. So I hope you can make a choice now. Nine Heaven Law Spirit smiled. He looked very friendly at the moment. Choice. Qin Yun was puzzled and asked, what is your path? What path do I have to choose? You should be very curious about what kind of existence I am. I can tell you now that we are the same. We were all created and our fates were arranged. We experienced cruel fate and all kinds of tribulations, experienced many rebirths, and yet our souls are not destroyed. Finally, as long as we reach this step, it means that we have successfully broken through the shackles of fate. After that, we will comprehend the mysterious universe, transcend the restraints of the universe's laws, and reach a realm that no one has ever reached before. Nine Heaven Law Spirits' eyes showed vicissitudes and pain when he said this. Qin Yun looked into his eyes and felt as though he could sense it. After all, he had experienced 9 lifetimes, and they were all very painful experiences. I still don't understand why we are the same. Qin Yun still did not understand. I am a 9 Heaven World's Law Spirit, and also the strongest divine Sun Spirit in the 9 heavens. The reason why I was able to be born is because the universe's lost spirit bestowed me with life. And your birth is the same. Although the universe's Dharma spirit did not personally create you under the operation of the laws, you were born. The universe's Dharma spirit has a plan. He directly or indirectly urged the birth of many beings like you and me, but there aren't many who could grow to this stage. Currently, you, the 9 Yang Dharma spirit, and the barbarian sovereign have all reached this step. There might be others, but they haven't appeared yet. The 9 Heavens Law Spirits said, of course, I was the first to be born in this plan. The rest of you only appeared after many years. Qin Yun's heart is in turmoil. He finally understood why the universe's lost spirit left behind Xieyang in the 9 Sun Divine Soul. Moreover, for many years, the 9 Yang Law Spirit has been secretly observing him, or perhaps it should be said that he was supervising his training. He originally thought that he was created to make a wedding dress for others. Later on, he gradually understood that it was all to temper him. For example, the heavenly venerable emperors from before. What shocked him the most is that the barbarian sovereign is also in existence. No wonder he is so powerful now. What path are you talking about? Qin Yin calmed down and asked again. Very simple. Whatever path the universe's law spirit wants us to walk, we will walk that path. If we don't listen to the universe's law spirit and walk the opposite path, we will be destroyed. The 9 heaven law spirits said. You and Luo Yingtian look exactly the same. Why is it like this? Qin Yun asked again. Luo Yingtian is only my avatar. He has an independent personality, but his essence is still me. And the 9 heaven law spirit laughed and said, actually, it doesn't matter who is who. The important thing is whether or not we can walk the same path. When Qin Yun heard this, he vaguely felt a sense of danger. Although Luo Yingtian is an independent personality, he is still the avatar of the 9 heaven law spirit. Earlier, the 9 heaven law spirit seemed to be hinting that as long as he wants, Luo Yingtian can also become stronger, or he can control Luo Yingtian. And how many inheritances or consciousness related to the 9 heaven law spirit are hidden within Luo Yingtian's soul? In other words, Luo Yingtian is indeed very dangerous. As long as you choose the same path as me, we will be able to avoid a battle today. The 9 heaven law spirits said, I don't want to fight with you because you are very successful. You use such a short period of time to grow to this stage. This is very rare. The 9 yang law spirit made a choice. He walked the opposite path of the universe's law spirit. Then what kind of punishment did he receive? Qin Yin very much wants to know the current situation of the 9 yang law spirit. There won't be any punishment. He must be destroyed. The barbarian sovereign has already gone to do it. Very soon he will be able to destroy the 9 yang law spirit. At that time, the 9 heaven law spirit looked at the myriad realms' divine sun in the sky and said with a sigh, once the 9 yang law spirit is destroyed, this land will once again turn heaven and earth upside down. It can be seen that the 9 heaven law spirit doesn't want this land to be destroyed. He also doesn't want the 9 yang law spirit to be destroyed. I have known the 9 yang law spirit for many years. I really don't want him to be destroyed. Therefore, I should have been the one to destroy him, but in the end, I still let Barbarian Emperor go. The 9 heaven law spirit looked at Qin Yun and said, you are very young, a very promising young man. You must cherish your choice this time. Qin Yun previously did not believe that Barbarian Emperor was fighting with a 9 yang law spirit, but now he believes it. The 9 heaven law spirit in front of him is very powerful. Qin Yun has no confidence in defeating him. Why does the 9 yang law spirit want to walk the opposite path of the universe's law spirit? What does the universe's law spirit want him to do? Qin Yun asked again. He has never understood what the universe's law spirit wants to do. Everything that happened in the myriad heavens divine desolate, and the universe seems to be a game played by those law spirits. The living beings under their operation laws are too insignificant. They're unable to clearly see this big game. I don't know. I have never asked about this kind of thing. Moreover, I've always been sealed and have always been in slumber. I just came out. The information I received is very limited. The 9 heaven law spirits said, but I will definitely be loyal to the universe's law spirit. I will absolutely not betray him. I will choose my own path. Qin Yun very earnestly said. Chapter 33:17. Qin Yun also did not say that he wants to fight against the universe law spirit or walk the same path as the 9 sun law spirit. His meaning is very clear. He wants to walk his own path. No one can interfere with him. Even a 9 sun law spirit can't change his own path. 9 heaven law spirit is not surprised by this answer, because he once had the same idea. How could he not want to walk his own path? But he knows that this kind of path is impossible. In the end, it will only lead to death. Yes, I will not obey the universe law spirit. I will decide what path I want to walk. Qin Yun very resolutely said. At this moment, Many people are looking at them. The big shots of the Empire and Taisher powers are all somewhat afraid of the Nine Heaven Lost Spirit. They did not expect that the guy who ran out from the Heavenly Tomb Mountain would look exactly like Luo Ingtian. Moreover, he is so powerful. Then will you fight against the Universe Lost Spirit? Nine Heaven Lost Spirit asked. He really does not want to fight against Qin Yin. That will depend on whether or not he will block my path. Qin Yin smiled freely. I really don't want to fight against anyone. It was others who fought against me first, so I had no choice but to fight back. Nine Heaven Lost Spirit nodded and said, That's right. I also don't know whether or not I should destroy you now. Qin Yin said that he wants to walk his own path, but from the looks of it, it is unknown whether or not he is walking in the opposite direction of the Universe Lost Spirit. You don't want to fight me? Qin Yin's smile became even wider. Ha! I indeed don't want you to fight, but don't think that I'm afraid of you. Nine Heaven Lost Spirit laughed a few times and said, Actually, people who have reached our realm shouldn't fight and kill. There is also no need. What's more, after so many years, I'm really tired of fighting. Nine Heaven Lost Spirit and Qin Yin have a feeling of mutual appreciation. He really does not want to fight Qin Yin, because if they fight, either both sides will suffer or one side will definitely die. Not only towards Qin Yin, he also has the same feeling towards Nine Heaven Lost Spirit and Barbarian Emperor. From his point of view, he is the big brother. It is not easy for these little brothers to grow up. It is because they are too rebellious and they are going against the Universe Lost Spirit, their father, that he has no choice but to take action. Then what do we do now? Qin Yin asked. I don't know. Jiuqian Fowling looked at the group of big shots behind him and said, You've also killed a lot of people today. How about we call it a day? As for what I should do next, I still have to ask for instructions. What about Barbarian Emperor and Nine Sons Dharma Spirits? Qin Yin is very concerned about the Nine Sons Dharma Spirits. Moreover, he wants to communicate with them. They will end it. I hope they're all safe and sound. The Nine Heavens Lost Spirit sighed and waved his hand. I hope that when we meet again, we can be amiable. Farewell. After the Nine Heaven Lost Spirit finished talking, he flew over to Heavenly Emperor Hualing and the other's side, said a few words to them, and brought them away. He left just like that. Even Qin Yin was somewhat surprised. He stared blankly at the ground that was filled with the wreckage of the warship. Although Luo Shuang and Luo Yaya were in the city, they didn't even dare to move a muscle. The pressure from the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit was too terrifying. It was as though it could destroy the entire Luo Imperial City with just a wave of its hand. Qin Yin couldn't sense this kind of pressure because his strength was equal to the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit. But it was different for others. Especially when they were closer to the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit, they felt that the pressure was even more terrifying. Qin Yin returned to the Luo Imperial City. Luo Shuang promptly came over and asked, Is it over? Qin Yin shook his head. It's just the beginning. Luo Shuang thought about it and understood a bit. She sighed and said, Where will this world go? I don't know. Qin Yin looked up at the sky. Although he avoided a battle today, he had a strong premonition that he would definitely have to fight the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit in the future. We know nothing about this world. How can we know what will happen to this world? What we need to do is to work hard to survive. Only then can we see with our own eyes how this world will go and how it will change. Luo Yaya said, No matter when compared to the entire world, we living beings are insignificant dust. No matter how the world goes or how it changes, it doesn't care what we think. That's right. But if the world wants to destroy us, then we can only change the world. Qin Yin said, I want to go rest. You should also prepare well. Sacred land will not be peaceful very soon. What? Luo Shuang hastily asked. For a very long period of time, the sacred land has been very peaceful. Only after Qin Yin came did this peace break. I don't know. The main target of the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit is not me. I should be just passing by, Qin Yin said with a frown. What? Luo Yaya was shocked. The Nine Heavens Lost Spirit wanted to kill Qin Yin, but it was just passing by. He has more important things to do. Otherwise, he would have attacked me just now. Of course, he is not completely sure that he can kill me. Instead, he is worried that he will be seriously injured, so he chose not to attack for now. Qin said again. Although the nine heavens lost spirit was talking and laughing, saying many gentle words, Qin Yun could clearly feel the destructive power in his heart. Qin Yun quickly disappeared from the Luo Imperial City. Luo Yaya and Luo Shuang also don't know where he is. They can only contact him through the magic mirror. He quickly arrived at the water moon under the lake of the Imperial Palace. One of Luo Yingtian's avatars is here. Seeing Qin Yun return, he has many questions to ask. The nine heavens lost spirit is your true body. Qin Yun said, when I saw him, I was very surprised. I really didn't expect it. I also didn't expect that I would have another true body. But I have an independent personality. I am not him, and he is also not me. Although Luo Yingtian's expression is very calm, his eyes are filled with sadness. He is truly unable to accept this fact. He has lived for so many years and lived such a wonderful life. He once controlled this universe, was the heavenly emperor of the Luo Empire, subdued many powerful women, and even gave birth to many children. But now, his true body suddenly appeared, letting him know that he is only an avatar. He also cultivated avatars, so he is very clear that as long as the true body wills it, these avatars will self-destruct. Luo Yingtian, you are indeed not the nine heavens lost spirit, but I believe that you definitely have his talent. You are exactly the same as him. As long as you are willing to work hard, you will definitely reach his height. Qin Yun said. Luo Yingtian shook his head and said, you should be much younger than me, but you have reached his height, and I... He laughed at himself and didn't continue speaking. I can help you. Qin Yun said. The nine heavens lost spirit is very loyal to the universe lost spirit. In the future, he might become my formidable opponent. I don't want to face him, so I need you. The universe lost spirit can make him grow so powerful. I think I can also do it. If necessary, I will let you kill yourself. Luo Yingtian's heart is moved. He clearly understands Qin Yun's goal. If Qin Yun can really make him reach the height of the nine heavens lost spirit, then he might be able to defeat the nine heavens lost spirit. He wants to chat with more like-minded people about the $article_ title. WeChat follows, you read literature, chat about life, find a bosom friend. Chapter 33:18. How could Luo Yingtian not think of killing or defeating the main body after learning that he was only a clone? But that was impossible. A single thought from a main body could destroy the clone. Luo Yingtian, who was excited by Qin Yun's words, had his eyes lit up with passion, but it soon dimmed. Impossible. If he wants me dead, I'll die. I can't fight my main body. I may have an independent personality, but I'll do anything for him with a single thought, let alone kill him. Luo Yingtian shook his head with a sigh. You're a clone, but you should know that you're an excellent one. What is the purpose of the nine heavens lost spirit cultivating this clone of yours? Qin Yun asked. He's afraid he'll die. Isn't cultivating a clone the same as cultivating a second life? Although it's much weaker than a spare second life, it's better to live than to die. Luo Yingtian said, I am indeed a very outstanding avatar, so outstanding that I always thought that I was the child of destiny. He had been the exalted celestial emperor for many years, but Qin Yun had captured him not long ago. Now that he knew he was only a clone, it was a huge blow to him. Qin Yun took out the soul-creating heavenly cauldron. Your main soul is still inside. I'm not just torturing it, I'm also planning to refine it again. This is to prevent your main soul from controlling a large number of clones to attack me. However, the main soul inside is only a portion of the Dharma Spirit soul. As long as the Dharma Spirit needs it, the main soul's consciousness will cease to exist. Luo Yingtian sighed. No, I can modify the imprint hidden in the depths of your soul. If I succeed, you'll be able to escape him completely. Qin Yun said. Is that really possible? Luo Yingtian suddenly became excited. Yes, I'll start right now. You have to cooperate with me. First, you have to recall all the souls inside your clones. I want to make sure they haven't separated their imprints. Qin Yun said. All right, I'll gather the 9 clones right away. Luo Yingtian hurriedly said. I won't erase his soul imprint in your soul. I'll just refine it. Otherwise, he would have sensed it ahead of time. Qin Yun said. In the future, if the 9 heavens Dharma spirit truly becomes my powerful enemy, I will need you to give him a fatal strike when he least expects it. Luo Yingtian nodded. He knew what Qin Yun wanted him to do. Soon, Luo Yingtian's 9 avatars gathered together. Each of them was very powerful, which surprised Qin Yun. I originally planned to fuse my 9 avatars with my main body, wanting to use this method to surpass the divine space realm, but I didn't succeed. Luo Yingtian sighed. That's a good idea. Perhaps you can give it a try. Let me help you refine your soul first. What Qin Yun needed now was a powerful tool. Luo Yingtian, the celestial arch of the Luo, was very suitable. Firstly, he was very strong to begin with, and secondly, he had the potential to break through. If Luo Yingtian could successfully surpass the divine space realm, he would be a powerful tool. He could turn the 9 suns sacred ground upside down and use him to keep the other empires and Taisher forces in check. He could even contend against the barbarians. Qin Yun himself was very powerful, but he still had Barbarian Emperor and the 9 heavens Dharma spirit. It would be very difficult for him to face any one of them, let alone 2. Moreover, the Cosmos Dharma spirit must have secretly nurtured many such experts during this period of time. For example, the celestial thearchs of the other empires and the giants of the Taisher forces. They were all important targets for nurturing. The purpose of a 9 heavens Dharma spirit rushing over this time was to protect this group of tools with great potential. Otherwise, with Qin Yun's power, he would definitely be able to kill them. The other 3 empires and Taisher forces had suffered great casualties from Qin Yun's calamity. They are now somewhat weak and don't dare to oppose Qin Yun for the time being. Therefore, Qin Yun contacted the Divine Judge and asked the Myriad Realms Divine Court to speed up their infiltration of the major cities of the Luo Empire. The souls of Luo Yingtian's 9 avatars all entered the soul creation heavenly cauldron and fused with the main soul. Qin Yun immediately began refining the souls. He rarely refined souls, but his perception was extremely high, especially through his research of the Imperial Heaven Divine Art. It allowed him to reach a higher level when controlling anything. For example, refining the soul was to be able to see through everything in the depths of the soul, dissect the soul, and find other things from the complicated composition of the soul. The soul was extremely complicated. Even he himself was unable to completely grasp his own soul. Luo Yingtian was the same. He didn't even know that he was an avatar. The main reason was that he was unable to sense the other soul imprints in the depths of his soul. Qin Yun also spent several days to discover the 9 heavens Dharma spirit's soul imprint. It was hidden very deeply, and it was extremely well disguised. Although he found the 9 heavens Dharma spirit's soul imprint, Qin Yun was unable to continue. Because he was unable to modify the soul imprint, what he needed to do was to sever the subtle connection between the soul imprint and Luo Yingtian's soul. He was unable to sever it. Once he did, Luo Yingtian's soul would scatter. The 9 heavens Dharma spirit's technique is too brilliant. Qin Yun took out the divine mirror of grand beginning and told it his problem. This should be the technique of the universe's Dharma spirit. Old brother Taisher said, the reason why you think you can't do it is because your soul is not strong enough right now. That's right. If my soul is strong enough, I can interfere with all the connections within other people's souls. Qin Yun sighed. What should I do? He originally planned to use a clever method to carry it out without letting the 9 heavens Dharma spirit know. However, the progress was much more difficult than he imagined. Not to mention not being discovered by the 9 heavens Dharma spirit. He couldn't even sever the connection and erase the imprint. Your soul is not strong enough. You need someone with a stronger soul to help you. Old brother Taisher said. Can you do it? Qin Yun quickly asked. I can't. The structure of my soul is very different from your human soul. I can't carry it out smoothly. Old brother Taisher said. Look for Malur. Malur? Qin Yun never thought that Malur would be able to do this kind of thing. Malur's mental power is very strong. Moreover, it can erupt many times. Qin Yun has always been envious of her control over mental power. He once asked Malur how to control such a strong mental power. However, Malur couldn't tell him because she was born very strong. I once tested how strong her soul is. I can only say that it's bottomless. Old brother Taisher said again. Malur's soul becomes stronger when it meets strong enemies. If you ask her to do it, she will be able to help you complete it. Otherwise, she wouldn't know how to pour out such a strong soul power. Qin Yun immediately asked Malur to come out and help. Malur just came out and saw Luo Yingtian's 9 avatars. Her charming face is filled with shock. Her white cat ears are folded. She seems to be somewhat afraid. Chapter 33:19. For many years, Maluru had been hiding from the pursuit of the great Luo Empire, mainly because she was special and could be regarded as a very mysterious special race. As for why she was so special and why she was special, Qin Yun still did not understand. He only knew that her soul was very strong. Maluru was born from a son of Luo Yingtian and a female cat, ear person of the exotic cat kingdom. She was very pitiful since she was a child, always being bullied and used, but her mind was still very simple and naive. The Luo Yingtian she met today was her grandfather. Qin Yun gently touched her head, took her hand and asked, Luo, what's wrong? Do you know him? I don't know. Maluru gently frowned, quickly grabbed Qin Yun's hand, then shrank behind Qin Yun and whispered, Brother Yun, I'm a little afraid of him. Why are you afraid of him? Qin Yun asked softly. Brother is here, don't be afraid. I can't say it because I feel that he is the one who has been catching me all these years. The aura of those destroyers is very similar to his. Maluru was still a little afraid, although she knew that Qin Yun was very strong. There are no destroyers now. This guy is the boss of the destroyers. He is already under my control. Qin Yun smiled and said, Luo, you don't have to be afraid in the future. Really? Maluru looked at Qin Yun with some surprise, then smiled happily. Great. The boss of the destroyers has been caught by Brother Yun. I am no longer afraid of them. Maluru really had a shadow of being hunted down. Qin Yun did not tell her that Luo Yingtian was her grandfather. In his opinion, Luo Yingtian had no family. Luo, brother wants to ask you for help now. Qin Yun gently touched her lovely white and tender face and said with a smile, It may be a little difficult. No matter how difficult it is, I will do my best to help brother. Maluru looked resolute and said very seriously, Let's start now. Maluru usually ate the Divine Universe Golden Stone in the 9-Sun Divine Spirit, then played with Yang Yang and the others. Sometimes she followed Yang Yang into the Divine Sun Divine Spirit to cultivate, or ate the delicious food made by Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi. She lived a very happy life, so she was even more grateful to Qin Yun. Qin Yun first let her sit beside the soul creation heavenly cauldron. Then he guided her in detail to sense the soul inside the soul creation heavenly cauldron and guided her to find the original body imprint inside the soul. The soul imprint of a 9-heaven law spirit was hidden very well. Qin Yun spent a lot of effort to find it, but Maluru quickly found it. Qin Yun was amazed. Malur was born with a very strong searching ability. Previously, when she was looking for the Divine Universe Golden Stone, it was very fast, and she could even take it away through the air. She was not strong, but she had such a shocking ability. Under Qin Yun's guidance, Malur began to strip the 9 heavens lost spirit's original body imprint. This process was extremely smooth. With just a little guidance from Qin Yun, Maluru seemed to quickly understand what Qin Yun wanted her to do, so she quickly completed it. After Luo finished, Luo used Luo's Luo had not. Luo as Luo's soul, Luo as spirit Luo and Luo to as not. After Malur was done, Luo Ingtian's soul had to be awakened in the creating soul heavenly cauldron. His 9 avatars now had no soul and were still sleeping. Your Excellency, it wasn't you who helped me get rid of my original body's imprint. Who helped me? Luo Ingtian is very curious about this. In the beginning, he could feel that Qin Yun was probing his soul. Later on, a very powerful soul force probed and quickly helped him strip off his original body's imprint. Luo Ingtian was very excited at this moment because he was now truly an independent person. He was no longer someone else's substitute, and the 9 heavens lost spirit could no longer erase his independent personality. He was very curious as to what kind of expert was helping Qin Yun to have such a powerful soul. He was certain that the soul power did not come from a magical spirit, but from a human. Qin Yun did not tell him that it was his granddaughter who was helping him. After all, Malur's existence was very mysterious. Before he figured it out, he would try not to expose Malur. A friend. Qin Yun asked Malur to return to the 9-sun divine soul. Then he said to Luo Ingtian's soul, "Your 9 avatars are very strong. I want to fuse them together. At the same time, I want to add the divine sun blood seed liquid. This is very risky. It may damage the 9 powerful avatars." "Bring it on." Luo Ingtian said, "I am not afraid of anything now, as long as I can become stronger." Qin Yun is now experimenting. Universe Lost Spirit has conducted many experiments, so Qin Yun believes that he should also experiment with the divine sun blood seed liquid. He first took out the 9 bloodline heavenly pattern boxes, including the divine king heavenly seal box. "Old brother Taisher, it is time to use your heavenly rune characters," Qin Yun said. Old brother Taisher is learning and comprehending more and more heavenly rune characters. Qin Yun has only mastered 9 of them. The rest are beyond his control. According to old brother Taisher, he needs to reach the level of lost spirit to master these heavenly rune characters. Moreover, these heavenly rune characters require the help of several bloodline heavenly pattern boxes. Old brother Taisher now wants to use 2 heavenly rune characters, fusion and life. Fusion is something he comprehended from a mysterious fusion heavenly rune. It is mainly about fusion. Life is about rebirth and mutual generation. After fusion, they can regenerate and give birth to each other. They will not restrain each other and will be able to fuse even more perfectly. Divine King Heavenly Seal drew in the power of the other 8 bloodline heavenly pattern boxes, then condensed heavenly rune characters on the seal surface and imprinted them on Luo Ingtian's 9 avatars one by one. Each avatar was imprinted with fusion and life heavenly rune characters. After Qin Yun took out the pill transformation heavenly furnace, he placed the 9 avatars inside and then drew in the divine sun power of the 9-sun divine soul. With Ling Yun'er's help, he began extracting the divine sun blood seed liquid and pouring it into the pill transformation heavenly furnace. Under Qin Yun's control, the 9 avatars gradually melted and then fused together. However, they still have not taken human form. They're still a big ball. Qin Yun took out Luo Ingtian's soul from the soul creation heavenly cauldron and placed it inside the pill transformation heavenly furnace. The process will be very painful. You have to endure it, Qin Yun said to Luo Ingtian. Luo Ingtian did not have time to reply and began screaming in pain inside the pill transformation heavenly furnace. Qin Yun continued to control the pill transformation heavenly furnace to refine Luo Ingtian's body. After 10 days, he finally refined Luo Ingtian into human form and then released him. At this moment, Luo Ingtian looks like a burnt person. Cracks slowly appeared on his charred skin and faint white light emitted from the cracks. After peeling off the layer of charred skin, a handsome middle-aged man appeared. Is Luo Ingtian? Qin Yun can feel that Luo Ingtian's body has returned to its original state. His body is not as strong as mine. But no matter what, Luo Ingtian has already surpassed the divine space realm and reached the origin returning realm. I really did not expect that I would succeed on my first try. Qin Yin is pleasantly surprised. Chapter 33:20. Through this experiment, Qin Yin could obtain a very rare experience. At the very least, he knew another path to return to the beginning. The main reason why Luo Yingtian could succeed was that he had a very solid foundation. Over the years, he had cultivated all 9 of his clones to the extreme, and he had a deep understanding of all aspects. Qin Yin also understood this, so this method might only have a high chance of success on Luo Yingtian. For others, they would at least need to meet Luo Yingtian's conditions. No one was more excited than Luo Yingtian. He had finally reached the realm he had been pursuing for a long time. He could clearly feel that the power in his body would no longer be taken back by the laws of the universe. Back then, before his cultivation base had regressed, he had once stood at the peak of this universe. However, as soon as the laws began to operate, his cultivation base immediately regressed. Even if he could return to his former peak, he would not be as excited as stepping into the origin returning realm. This was because the returning origin realm was a new beginning, the beginning of a future. This future had infinite possibilities, unlike before where one's power could be withdrawn at any time. Thank you very much, God King. Luo Yingtian immediately saluted Qin Yin. He is now incomparably admiring Qin Yin. You must remember your mission. Qin Yin said, of course, you are definitely not the 9 heavens Dharma spirits match now. Therefore, you still have to cultivate. It's best to do it in secret and not let the 9 heavens Dharma spirit know. Luo Yingtian nodded. He knew very well why Qin Yin helped him become stronger. It was so that he could keep the 9 heavens Dharma spirits in check. He was the clone of a 9 heavens Dharma spirit. Although he didn't have the memories of a 9 heavens Dharma spirit, they definitely had some similarities. If the 9 heavens lost spirit knew that you had stepped into the primordial origin realm, he would first think of a way to destroy you. Qin Yin exhorted, so you have to hide yourself well. This is the Genesis realm? Luo Yingtian didn't know what realm it was. Following that, Qin Yin briefly explained his understanding of this realm, causing Luo Yingtian to exclaim repeatedly, Divine King, I have 2 very precious divine sun blood species in my hands. I have always been hiding them. Luo Yingtian said, I will give you these 2 divine sun blood seeds as repayment. What kind of divine sun blood seed is it? Qin Yin was rather surprised that Luo Yingtian actually had one. It's not that big. It's just a little bit. With my strength, it's impossible for me to extract the divine sun blood fluid from it. Luo Yingtian gestured with his finger and found that it was only the size of a thumb. Where did the Daluo crown prince get his divine sun blood seed from? Qin Yin asked. The divine sun blood seed liquid he used seems very evil. That was provided by the universe spirit. My God sun blood seed did not come from within Xieyang. It comes from within the divine universe sun and divine universe purple sun. Luo Yingtian said, I've hidden it in the palace. I'll go get it now. Please wait a moment. The heaven universe divine sun and divine universe purple sun could indeed produce a divine sun blood seed, but it was extremely rare. It required an extremely large divine Sunday. Back when Luo Yingtian had been in charge of the Daluo Empire and dominated the entire Daluo cosmos, he had instructed the heaven-splitting ancient clan to destroy a large number of divine suns. He was also one of the people who had helped the universe's Dharma spirit search for the divine sun blood seed. After so many years, Luo Yingtian did find the god sun blood seeds from the evil suns, and he handed them over to the universe's Dharma spirit. As for the divine sun blood seeds found from other super large divine suns, he kept them for himself. Soon, Luo Yingtian arrived and handed 2 boxes to Qin Yin. The heaven universe divine sun blood seed is blue, and the divine universe purple sun blood seed is purple. They are only the size of a thumb, and they are weightless. The moment Qin Yin opened the box, he confirmed that it was a divine sun blood seed. He is very excited, because this is a divine sun blood seed that was not born from a Xieyang. It is very precious. Such a huge divine sun could only produce such a small divine sun blood seed. Qin Yun sighed. Isn't that so? You must know that after so many years, I can't even remember how many super large divine suns I have destroyed, but I can only get these 2 divine sun blood seeds that were not born from a Xieyang. Luo Yingtian also sighed. Qin Yun kept the 2 divine sun blood seeds. He plans to research them in the future and see if he can use the Nether Sun's replication ability to replicate the divine sun blood seed liquid. This is not a Xieyang blood seed, so it will be more stable. Qin Yun's Nether Sun has a very powerful replication ability. It can replicate many kinds of energy. He wants to use it to replicate the energy of those rare divine medicines and divine pills. Then he used it to refine pills. The divine sun blood seed liquid is also a kind of energy. In theory, it can also be replicated. What is the background of Nine Heavens Island Master? Is this guy related to Nine Heavens Lost Spirit? Qin Yun is very curious about Nine Heavens Island Master's identity. Previously, it was Nine Heavens Island Master who jumped out and cut ties with the other empires and Taisher powers. If he was related to Nine Heavens Lost Spirit, he shouldn't be so cowardly. I'm not too sure. Although Nine Heavens Island Master has a good relationship with me, he is unfathomable. In front of me, he often acts weak. Luo Yingtian shook his head. In short, before figuring out his situation, try not to interact with him as much as possible to avoid being tricked by him. I don't have much to teach you about cultivation in the origin realm at the moment. You can explore and comprehend it yourself in the future. Qin Yun said, I have just stepped into this realm. I haven't unearthed the hidden power of the unstoppable power. Thank you for your teachings, Divine King. Luo Yingtian said, Divine King, Daluo Empire will definitely cooperate with the Myriad Realm's divine court in the future. Qin Yun nodded in satisfaction. He is not afraid of anything happening to Luo Yingtian because Luo Yingtian wanted to sign a soul contract with him. Next, I will have to wait for the birth of the 9th Divine Sunday. I wonder if it will come out. Qin Yun sighed before leaving the water moon beneath the lake. He came outside and floated above Daluo Imperial Palace. His original goal was to kill Daluo Crown Prince, but he did not expect so many things to happen. Overall, he gained a lot, especially the 2 divine sun blood seeds that Luo Yingtian gave him. Qin Yun took out the magic mirror and contacted Luo Shuang. He asked her to stay in Daluo Empire and discuss with her father how to get rid of Wang Tiange. He left Daluo Imperial City and prepared to return to the Vermilion Bird Treasure Ground and use the teleportation formation there to head to the 4 divine suns. After he left Daluo Imperial City for a long time, he suddenly felt someone following him. The aura is very weak, but Qin Yun panicked when he sensed it. Nine Heavens Lost Spirit, why are you following me? Qin Yun suddenly stopped in the air and looked in a certain direction. Qin Yun, I came here to destroy you. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit appeared. Why? Could it be that you are sure that I want to fight against the Universe Law Spirit? Qin Yun was panicking a moment ago, but after seeing the Nine Heavens Law Spirit, he gradually calmed down. You should have known that this battle was unavoidable. Barbarian Emperor lost. Nine Heavens Lost Spirit defeated him. I have to say, Nine Heavens Lost Spirit is very strong. Nine Heavens Lost Spirit laughed at himself. I am the Nine Heavens, and he is the Nine Suns, but he is a bit stronger than me. Chapter 33:21. The Barbarian Emperor lost? Is he dead? Qin Yun immediately asked. He is very alarmed, but at the same time, he is secretly happy for the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit. The barbarian sovereign is heavily injured and won't be able to recover in a short period of time. Now, you and the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit are in the same camp, and I'm the only one left on my side. Now that the barbarian emperor is injured, there's an imbalance between our 2 camps, so I have to make a move against you. This is all for the sake of balance. The Nine Heavens Lost Spirit said. The Nine Heavens Dharma Spirits and Nine Yang Dharma Spirits are both powerful Dharma Spirits. The nine heavens Dharma spirits partnered with Barbarian Sovereign, while the nine yang Dharma spirits partnered with Qin Yun. The nine suns lost spirits had defeated the Barbarian Sovereign, so for the sake of balance, the nine heavens lost spirits naturally came to find Qin Yun. Did the universe's lost spirit tell you to find me? Qin Yun is now certain that the nine yang Dharma spirit has successfully transformed into a human, and its strength is very strong. I can give you a chance. As long as you join our side, today's battle can be avoided. Nine Heaven Lost Spirit did not answer Qin Yun's question. Instead, he very earnestly said, I am not afraid of you. Rather, I admire you very much. I don't want you to be destroyed like this. Qin Yun replied very seriously. I've said it before, I want to walk my own path. I'm not afraid of you either. Come on. You can't beat me. Seeing how determined Qin Yun was, the nine heavens Dharma spirit could only take action. Qin Yun immediately used void transcendence steps to distance himself from the nine heavens Dharma spirits. He knew that there was a difference in strength between him and the nine heavens lost spirit, so he had to avoid fighting him head-on. He had to maintain a good distance. If he really couldn't beat him, he would have a chance to retreat. The nine heavens Dharma spirit had already seen through Qin Yun's intentions. His movement technique was equally strange. He could traverse through space and immediately catch up to Qin Yun. What Qin Yun never expected was that the nine heavens Dharma spirit's speed was even faster than his. Especially after it tore through space, the stab was completed in an instant, preventing Qin Yun from dodging or blocking. The sword struck Qin Yun's back. When it made contact with Qin Yun's body, a loud explosion erupted. Qin Yun's body seemed to be struck by an extremely powerful force from behind as his body flew forward. Just now, Qin Yun had only instinctively circulated all his strength to defend himself, trying his best to reduce the damage he suffered. Qin Yun never expected that his body would be so powerful after returning to its original state. That sword was actually unable to pierce through it. Although it couldn't pierce through, the power that erupted from the tip of the sword was extremely strong. The impact sent his body flying, and at the same time, he felt intense pain all over his body. The nine heaven lost spirit was extremely shocked. His sword was not an ordinary sword. In the current divine desolate, there were all sorts of divine swords everywhere. Divine swords were no longer valuable. The sword he used was made by fusing with the super divine sun's core material. It was also mixed with some divine sun blood seed liquid. It was extremely sturdy to begin with, yet was unable to pierce through Qin Yun's body. That guy's sword is very strong. My equipment is definitely no match for it. Qin Yun did not plan to reveal his equipment. Otherwise, it would only be destroyed by the opponent's sword. Qin Yun's current equipment was not as powerful as his body. After the nine heavens lost spirit recovered from its astonishment, it continued to chase after Qin Yun. It stabbed Qin Yun with a series of hundreds of stabs, each stab landing on Qin Yun's body. Qin Yun cried out in pain, but his body was not pierced. It was only extremely painful. Qin Yun, although you have surpassed the divine universe realm, and your body is indeed powerful, do you see it? You are not my match at all. The nine heavens lost spirit slowed down and said to Qin Yun with sneer, I gave you a chance before, but you didn't cherish it. Qin Yun took a few deep breaths. The pain in his body was completely swept away. It seems like his body is already recovered. This caused him to be shocked by his own body once again. It must be known that when he was attacked by hundreds of swords, he did not release any energy barrier. He used his body to withstand the attacks. Not only his body withstood the attacks, he also did not receive much damage. This means that his body is abnormally powerful. Even a nine heavens lost spirit could not imagine how powerful his body is. The nine heavens lost spirit did not stop on purpose. He had no choice but to stop because he used up a lot of power in one breath. Now that he has slowed down, he wants to gather formidable power again. No matter how strong you are still a human. You can't compare to us lost spirits. The nine heavens lost spirit attacked again. Qin Yun does not have the same level weapon to resist the nine heavens lost spirit. Moreover, The power within his body is not as strong as the nine heavens lost spirits, so he is unable to fight back. But this time, he suddenly pushed his palm forward. His palm vibrated, and a very complex heavenly rune character flashed out and transformed into a shield in front of him. Qin Yun can only pour his power into the formidable heavenly rune character to increase its power. Only by doing this can he resist the nine heavens lost spirit. When the nine heavens lost spirit's sword pierced the heavenly rune character, a vigorous vibration power transmitted over. It shook his sword until it hummed, and he felt pain in his palm. Even more formidable is that he was sent flying by the shield formed by the heavenly rune character. This is the heavenly rune character Zhen. Qin Yun condensed it inside the imperial heaven heart when he was being beaten. Heavenly rune character is indeed formidable. Qin Yun is secretly delighted. The Divine King Heavenly Seal's strength is not strong enough. Otherwise, he could have taken it out and used the heavenly rune character to suppress the nine heavens lost spirit. He does not dare to take the risk now. If the Divine King Heavenly Seal were to be destroyed, it would be an incomparably huge loss. The nine heavens lost spirit is startled. He naturally knew that Qin Yun used the heavenly rune character just now. He did not expect it to appear so suddenly and in such a complex manner. He finds it hard to believe that Qin Yun created it while he was being beaten. The nine heavens lost spirit coldly snorted and rushed over again. At this moment, Qin Yun suddenly disappeared. Qin Yun once again used the heavenly rune character Conceal. This can allow him to conceal himself. Although it is not complete concealment, it is not easy for the nine heavens lost spirit to sense him. At least it is unable to immediately lock onto his position. This guy's body is also very strong. Even if I had a similarly strong weapon, I might not be able to injure him. Qin Yun now realized that it is very difficult to kill the nine heavens lost spirit. If this continues, he will eventually be defeated here. You are here. The nine heavens lost spirit sensed Qin Yun's weak aura and immediately attacked. Qin Yun has already concealed himself, but he was still discovered by the nine heavens lost spirit. He immediately dodged and at the same time shot out weak energy aura to confuse the nine heavens lost spirit's perception. After the nine heavens lost spirit rushed over, it immediately sensed that there are targets all around it. This caused it to momentarily lose direction of attack. Qin Yun also took this opportunity to continue preparing the next heavenly rune character. Facing an enemy stronger than him, he can only use his wits. Fighting face to face is courting death. Qin Yun, I don't have time to waste with you. Let's end it here. The nine heavens lost spirit immediately saw through Qin Yun's intention. As soon as he finished speaking, black mist surged out of his body. Suddenly, a small black divine sun appeared in the sky above him. Qin Yun saw the divine sun released by the nine heavens lost spirit and felt extremely shocked in his heart. Black divine sun is usually evil sun, devil sun, or nether Sunday. And the one released by the nine heavens lost spirit is the fusion of devil sun. Evil sun and nether Sunday. Qin Yun also imagined before whether or not he could fuse many divine suns into one. However, it is only an idea, he never tried it. Chapter 33:22. Qin Yun's nine-sun divine spirit also has many divine sun. It is definitely stronger than nine heavens lost spirits. And the problem is that the divine sun released by a nine heavens lost spirit has been cultivated into his body. This means that he can completely control the power of the divine sun. Although Qin Yun's nine-sun divine spirit's divine sun is very powerful, he can only extract energy to support it. He can't release all of the divine sun's power in one go. He can't compare to nine heavens lost spirit in this aspect. Seeing the fusion body divine sun released by nine heavens lost spirit, Qin Yun knows that it will be difficult for him to win this battle. Little Ant Queen, quickly prepare your strongest power. Quickly send me into the dark space. Qin Yun immediately contacted the nine-sun divine spirit's little Ant Queen. She is currently cultivating. When she heard Qin Yun's words, she immediately began to earnestly cultivate. Originally, Qin Yun wanted to use heavenly rune characters to contend with Nine Heavens Law Spirit, but the power displayed by Nine Heavens Law Spirit is not something he can shake. After all, Nine Heavens Law Spirit has existed for many years and was nurtured by the universe Law Spirit. He must have absorbed the divine, Sun Blood Seed liquid to cultivate very early on. He is stronger than Qin Yun in all aspects. Qin Yun, goodbye. Nine Heavens Law Spirit shouted coldly. He still feels somewhat regretful because he knows that as long as he has enough time, Qin Yun will surpass him sooner or later. Qin Yun's talent is extremely high. Even Nine Heavens Law Spirit is envious of this point. At this moment, Qin Yun can no longer move. An incomparably evil supergravity is pressing down on him. Nine Heavens Law Spirit's fusion body Divine Sun also has formidable Nether Sun power. Combined with Evil Sun and Devil Sun power, the supergravity released is even more dreadful. It is also filled with an incomparably tyrannical vibration energy. When this force pressed down on Qin Yun's body, even with his powerful body, he felt an excruciating pain. It was as though his body was about to be torn apart. Bang! For some unknown reason, the fusion body Divine Sun floating above Nine Heavens Law Spirit's head suddenly flashed with a huge red lightning bolt and charged towards Qin Yun's body. Little Ant Queen is already trying to pull Qin Yun into the dark space, but because of the powerful supergravity outside, Nether Sun's power distorted the space, causing Little Ant Queen to fail. Qin Yun endured the pain and raised his hand to release the Sun Heaven Shield. At the same time, he fused the heavenly rune he prepared into the shield. The Sun Heavenly Shield can absorb the Nine Sun Divine Soul's energy to strengthen itself. When combined with the heavenly rune word defense, it can produce an even stronger defense. The terrifying red evil demon lightning struck the Sun Heaven Shield, causing it to explode with intense red light. Qin Yun had blocked the attack, and the Sun Heavenly Shield was still intact. This surprised the Nine Heavens Dharma Spirit. In his opinion, Qin Yun would not be able to block this attack and would definitely be seriously injured. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit continued to attack, releasing red lightning and bombarding Qin Yun 10 times in a row. 10 consecutive attacks were blocked by Qin Yun's Sun Heavenly Shield. Not bad, not bad. The Nine Heavens Dharma Spirit admired Qin Yun even more, but he still had to continue attacking. After all, he knew that Qin Yun was full of tricks, so he had to be on guard. Furthermore, if he didn't have the ability to suppress Qin Yun, he wouldn't have dared to release the fused Divine Sunday otherwise. It would have been easily destroyed. Only when he was certain that he was under absolute suppression would he release it. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit continued to release red, evil demon lightning. They bared their fangs and brandished their claws. They are like malevolent blood-colored dragons as they crazily charged at Qin Yun. After dozens of attacks, Qin Yun's Sun Heavenly Shield finally shattered, and then his body was hit. When he was hit, Qin Yun let out a miserable scream. He felt as if his body was being pierced through. Evil and ruthless lightning poured into his body. It is as if all kinds of electric needles were piercing into his body. Seeing Qin Yun let out a miserable scream, the Nine Heavens Law Spirit sighed. He knows that Qin Yun can no longer resist. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit continued to release red lightning to attack Qin Yun's body. After more than 10 attacks, Qin Yun is already riddled with scars. His powerful body finally couldn't hold on any longer. Many black cracks appeared on his body, and his abdomen was pierced by a red lightning bolt. This is the first time in all these years that Qin Yun suffered such a serious injury. However, he is still clear-headed and communicated with the Little Ant Queen. It's over. The Nine Heavens Law Spirit controlled a large amount of red lightning and condensed it into a huge blood-colored lightning ball. Then, it fell from the sky to the ground. That huge blood-colored lightning ball is as big as a city. When it fell from the sky, even the now very strong, divine, desolate land was torn apart. When the blood-colored lightning ball landed, It exploded with extremely strong red light and energy waves in all directions, causing the entire land to shake. The berserk energy waves submerged everything in the surrounding area. The nine heavens lost spirit withdrew his fusion body divine son, then turned around and flew away. He did not look at Qin Yin. From his point of view, even if Qin Yin was still alive, he would be finished. No one can withstand this kind of attack and continue cultivating. Even if they were alive, it would be a fate worse than death. After the nine heavens lost spirit flew away for a while, that place is still shrouded in blood-colored mist. There are also many blood-colored lightning bolts jumping about. This large area suddenly turned into a dangerous area. Qin Yun's injured body is lying in the middle of a pit. His body gradually appeared with white energy, and then he was pulled into the dark space. After entering the dark space, Qin Yun repeatedly sighed at the strength of his body. He was actually able to remain intact under that kind of attack. Not long after he entered the dark space, two young men appeared in the sky above the area and looked down. One of the young men is the bloodthirsty barbarian king who was defeated by Qin Yun before. And beside the bloodthirsty barbarian king is an incomparably handsome, white-clothed, long-haired man. He is the barbarian emperor. Barbarian emperor, is Qin Yun dead? The bloodthirsty barbarian king asked. Even I can't withstand that kind of attack just now. Qin Yun should be finished. Barbarian emperor sighed lightly and said, "What a pity, I haven't even fought him yet, and he's already finished." Barbarian emperor, do you think the nine heavens lost spirit is stronger or the nine sun lost spirit is stronger? The bloodthirsty barbarian king asked. I don't know. In short, if it wasn't for the universe lost spirit, I would have definitely died in the hands of the nine sun lost spirit like Qin Yun. Barbarian emperor looked up at the sky and said, and the 90,000 universe divine suns have not appeared yet. When all the myriad realms divine suns appear and the ninth divine sun is controlled by the nine sun lost spirit, only the nine heavens lost spirit and the universe lost spirit can suppress him. The bloodthirsty barbarian king is very astonished by the nine sun lost spirit's strength and said, but why didn't he come to save Qin Yun? The nine heavens lost spirit also didn't come to save me. Barbarian emperor said, Qin Yun and I are, after all, humans. Those two guys are lost spirit humans, but they didn't fight head-on. They must have their own worries. After Barbarian Emperor finished speaking, he looked in the direction of Great Luo Imperial City and said, let's go. We will attack Great Luo Empire and capture Luo Ingtian. No, it should be the entire Nine Sun Holy Land. Chapter 33:23. Inside the dark space, Qin Yun is enveloped by the energy released by the little ant queen. Actually, even without the protection of the little ant queen's power, he can still endure it inside the dark space. I've lost. I've been completely defeated. Qin Yun floated inside the dark space. Although he was in great pain before, now he suddenly feels very relaxed. After all, your foundation is not enough. You are facing a powerful enemy, a former powerful lost spirit. There's nothing to say about losing to him. As a human, it's very rare for you to be able to fight against the nine heaven lost spirit for so long. You are very amazing. Old brother Taisher comforted him. Am I really that amazing? Qin Yun still felt a little melancholic. He originally believed that he had figured out the primordial quintessence realm and entered an unprecedented realm. It could be considered a realm that he had opened up himself. In that case, he should be invincible in the god's wilderness. But now he has lost. It can be said that he has lost miserably. There is no room for him to retaliate. Closing his eyes, the nine heaven lost spirit's fusion body, divine sun, seems to appear in front of him. At the same time, powerful thunder and lightning strike him. Barbarian Emperor should also be a human. Furthermore, he lived longer than you and received the universe lost spirit's nurturing. But didn't he lose to the nine sun lost spirit in the end? Old brother Taisher said, that's why you lost to the lost spirit. There's nothing to feel inferior about. Furthermore, Your potential is very great. In the future, you will be able to defeat the 9-heaven lost spirit. Qin knows that he has indeed lost because his foundation is not enough. After all, the 9-heaven lost spirit is a powerful lost spirit. He was once above the 9 heavens and was nurtured by the universe lost spirit for many years to grow to his current state. Although Qin has the 9-sun lost spirit's secret help, he did not nurture him the entire time. Instead, he let him fend for himself. Old brother Taisher, do you think I need to be like the 9-heaven lost spirit and cultivate a fusion body divine sun? Qin asked. There's no need. You have to persevere on your own path. The 9-heaven lost spirit's path is something he walked on his own or something the universe lost spirit pointed out to him. It might not be suitable for you. Old brother Taisher asked, what is your divine sun cultivation path like? It is to cultivate 9 super divine suns inside the 9-sun divine spirit. This was my previous idea. Later on, my goal was even higher. I plan to return these 9 super divine suns to the beginning. Qin said, that's right, this is your path. As long as you walk this path well, you will be able to cultivate 9 powerful divine suns in the 9-yang divine spirit. When you need power, you can mobilize the power of the 9 divine suns and fuse them together. The power that will erupt can be imagined. Brother Taisher said, cultivating the fusion body is very risky and the requirements for the body are extremely high. The 9 heavens lost spirit was once a very powerful divine yang lost spirit, so it was not a problem for him to cultivate and fuse with the divine yang in his body. After all, the merged divine sun was not stable enough. If it continued to strengthen, once an unstable factor erupted, the 9 heavens lost spirit's body would definitely not be able to withstand it. The 9 heaven lost spirit doesn't dare to release the fusion divine sun because he can completely suppress you. If you were a little stronger, he wouldn't dare to do this. The fusion body divine sun can only provide energy within his body and will be limited to a certain extent. Brother Taisher said, the fusion body divine sun is his strength, but also his weakness. Qin's injuries are very serious. He feels that everything in his body has been shattered. However, his recovery ability is very strong, and he is gradually recovering. My body is actually so powerful, it's truly inconceivable. Qin once again exclaimed in admiration as he sensed his body's recovery. During the battle with the 9 heavens lost spirit, he has already been shocked by his powerful body many times. If the 9 heavens lost spirit knew of his current situation, he would definitely be even more shocked than him. This means that the origin returning realm you explored yourself and the body you reconstructed through the origin returning realm is very correct. Therefore, you will be able to go even further in the future. Old brother Taisher said with smile. What is the cultivation path of the 9 heavens lost spirit? Has he also experienced the origin returning realm? Qin suddenly became very curious. What about the barbarian emperor? He seems to have also absorbed the divine sun bloodseed liquid. I really want to know. He had obtained the cultivation method of the crown prince of Great Luo, and Luo Yingtian had also told him about it, but it was completely different from his origin returning realm cultivation method. Definitely not. In essence, they are still beyond the divine universe realm, but their power will no longer be taken back by the universe. Luo Yingtian's breakthrough should be your origin returning realm, because with your guidance, you are now the only guide of the origin returning realm. Old brother Taisher said, only guide? Qin can't help but feel excited. He was the creator of this realm. Then what about the 9 heavens lost spirit? What kind of path does he have? Qin now seems to have forgotten about his defeat against the 9 heavens lost spirit. He is filled with curiosity towards cultivation. Old brother Taisher is very gratified because Qin is now able to see even further. Because he is the guide, he is the only person walking at the very front of this path. He must know how to walk the path in front of him. As long as he can continue walking, he will become even stronger. Although the 9 heavens lost spirit is powerful, his path was pointed out to him by others. Others can let him walk however they want him to. He can even lead him to a dead end. You need to break through now. As long as you take another step, you won't lose to the nine heavens law spirit again. Old brother Taishur believes that after Qin Yun's setback, it is a very good opportunity to break through. I won't lose to him again. Qin Yun nodded. Even if I can't beat him, I can't lose, and I can't be in such a sorry state. After Qin Yun's body recovered a bit, he closed his eyes in the dark space and began to comprehend. He wanted to clear the fog in front of him and make his cultivation path clearer. He wanted to walk even more steadily. At the headquarters of the Myriad Realms Divine Court, outside the Divine Palace, a slightly white-haired middle-aged man with an extraordinary bearing suddenly appeared. After this middle-aged man arrived, the Divine Judge immediately came out to greet him. "Greetings, Nine Sun Law Spirit." The Divine Judge promptly saluted. "No need to be so courteous. This place is after all Qin Yun's. He should be receiving such treatment." Nine Sun Law Spirit gently waved his hand and then looked at the vast palace hall. It is completely empty inside. "I can't contact the Divine King," the Divine Judge said worriedly. "This shouldn't be with his current strength. It is impossible for him to lose contact so quickly. He encountered a setback. Now his whereabouts are unknown, but he won't die." Nine Sun Law Spirit sighed. "Just act as if nothing happened and continue operating the Myriad Realms Divine Court according to your plan." The Divine Judge's body trembled. Even with Qin Yun's strength, his whereabouts are unknown. This is not a small setback. Nine Sun Law Spirit, please instruct us. The Divine Judge is completely panicking. Evacuate Nine Sun Holy Land as soon as possible. Barbarian Emperor is preparing to launch a large-scale attack on Nine Sun Holy Land. Their first target is Great Luo Empire. You can go communicate with Luo Ingtian and see what he will do next. Nine Sun Law Spirit said, "I will be busy with the matter of the 9th Divine Sunday. I won't interfere with the matters of Divine Desolate. I also can't spare any time." He wants to deal with the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. "Yes, I'll go to Great Luo Imperial Palace right now." The Divine Judge immediately took action. He wants to chat with like-minded people about $article_title, $article_title, reading literature, talking about life, looking for bosom friends. Chapter 33:24. Although Qin Yun has lost contact with the outside world in the dark space, he can still guess what Nine Heaven Law Spirit and the others will do next. Before, Qin Yun first made Luo Ingtian's Great Luo Empire yield and used it as a breakthrough to enter the Nine Sun Holy Ground. Nine Sun Holy Ground is very important. Whether it is to the new beginning race camp or the universe law spirit, it is a very important territory. They cannot let Qin Yun's hand reach in. Therefore, Barbarian Emperor and Nine Heaven Law Spirit want to take over the Nine Sun Holy Ground and lead the new beginning race camp inside and drive Qin Yun out. Qin Yun is not in a hurry to go out. He knows that the Divine Judge and the others will definitely be able to deal with it, because he previously told the Divine Judge that the Nine Sun Holy Ground is not a place that must be fought over. Previously, Qin Yun only brought the Myriad Realms Divine Court to probe the Nine Sun Holy Ground and see where the new beginning race camp's bottom line is. The Divine Judge is very clear that the new beginning race has deep roots in the Nine Sun Holy Ground. It will be very difficult for the Myriad Realms Divine Court to control the entire Nine Sun Holy Ground in a short period of time. Therefore, he is already mentally prepared. If the other side resists intensely, he will immediately retreat. The Divine Judge went to find Luo Ingtian to discuss the current situation and then left. Not long after the Divine Judge left, Nine Heaven Law Spirit arrived. When Luo Ingtian learned that Nine Heaven Law Spirit has arrived, he did not use his strongest Origin Realm body to meet Nine Heaven Law Spirit. Instead, he used a weaker avatar. Luo Ingtian has many avatars, and they are very varied. The 9 strongest avatars from before are the first echelon. The next are puppet-type avatars, all refined from various powerful materials. Nine Heaven Lost Spirit looked at the weak avatar in front of him and sighed. You disappoint me. Luo Yingtian already learned from the Divine Judge that something has happened on Qin Yun's side. He guessed that Qin Yun was most likely defeated by a Nine Heaven Lost Spirit. Seeing Nine Heaven Lost Spirit arrive, Luo Yingtian's mood is very complicated. Nine Heaven Lost Spirit is very powerful. Although Luo Yingtian broke through with Qin Yun's help, he is still unable to defeat Nine Heaven Lost Spirit. I did not disappoint you, Luo Yingtian said. You lost completely. You admitted defeat without even fighting. Nine Heaven Lost Spirit shook his head and said, This time, I came to take you back. I will leave the Daluo Empire to someone else. Luo Yingtian felt a sharp pain in his heart. No matter what, he had painstakingly built up the Daluo Empire. After so many years, he had already developed feelings for it. Yet the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit had given it to someone else just like that. Me admitting defeat earlier was just a delaying tactic. Luo Yingtian said, I am currently cultivating in secret. It looks like my main body has been destroyed and my main soul has been imprisoned by Qin Yun. But the truth is that I am stalling for time so that I can give Qin Yun a fatal blow later. Is that so? How's your cultivation going? In his eyes, Qin Yun was the most outstanding. Luo Yingtian was far inferior to Qin Yun. Luo Yingtian immediately explained the general idea of the primordial realm. This was what Qin Yun had taught him to tell the Nine Heavens Dharma spirits. It allowed him to deceive them. Sure enough, the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit could not help but frown in thought when he heard this. The cultivation of the primordial convergence realm sounded very simple, but it was very complicated when one thought about it carefully. Furthermore, there was a certain degree of feasibility. Luo Yingtian did not say everything. He did not say the most important part. This was also what Qin Yun had taught him. The Nine Heavens Lost Spirit's eyes became brighter and his tone became much gentler. I will not take you back for now. I will give you some time to cultivate. If you cannot break through, I will take you back and reforge you. What kind of help do you need? Just say it. I need some divine sun bloodseed liquid. This is the key, Luo Yingtian said. This was also what Qin Yun had taught him before. All right, I will send someone to deliver it to you. From now on, you must eliminate the myriad realms divine court within the 100 cities of the Daluo Empire and restore your reputation. Qin Yun is finished. He will no longer be a threat to you. The Nine Heavens Lost Spirit paused for a moment and then said, From now on, you must listen to Barbarian King's arrangements. Yes, Luo Yingtian replied very straightforwardly. Hearing that Qin Yun had already finished, he felt very calm in his heart. He has been in contact with Qin Yun for a period of time. In his heart, Qin Yun is very great. It is impossible for him to be finished. The Universe Lost Spirit and the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit could not guide Luo Yingtian to truly break free from the bindings of the universe law. But Qin Yun could do it very easily. Therefore, Luo Yingtian prostrated himself in admiration toward Qin Yun. Oh, that's right. Do you have a way to regain control of the Devil Mirror Formation Foundation? The Nine Heavens Lost Spirit asked. Only if we can attack the 4 divine suns. Otherwise, if we want to control it again, we will have to reconstruct the Devil Mirror Formation Foundation and promote our new Devil Mirror. This will take time. Moreover, we can't cover the outside of the Sacred Land. We can only play within the Sacred Land. We will not be a threat to the Myriad Realms Divine Court. Luo Yingtian said, Go and rebuild the Magic Mirrors Foundation. 9 Heaven Lost Spirits said, I will think of a way to attack the 4 divine suns. Oh, that's right. Discuss with the heavenly emperors of the other empires to destroy the 9 Heavens Island as soon as possible. Yes, Luo Yingtian promptly replied, but he is secretly alarmed. The 9 Heavens Lost Spirit actually wants to destroy the 9 Heavens Island. Barbarian Emperor will come very soon. When the time comes, you just need to listen to his orders. He won't make things difficult for you. I already informed him. The 9 Heavens Lost Spirit finished speaking and then left. Luo Ingtian sent off the nine heavens lost spirit on his knees. His attitude is very humble. He is a person who knows when to submit and when to stand tall. In order to have the opportunity to grow, he is even willing to become a dog. Qin Yun is cultivating inside the dark space. He wants to cultivate in peace and cut off all connections with the outside world. He can't be distracted by anything, so he chose not to go out. Unknowingly, all his attention is focused on his Imperial Heaven Heart. My Imperial Heaven Heart is also at the beginning, but it is still far from enough. I still need to continue cultivating my Imperial Heaven Heart and fuse it with the Imperial Heaven Divine technique. Qin Yun suddenly found a direction. Only when the Imperial Heaven Heart is strong enough can he control even more formidable power and control even more formidable Divine Sunday. It is impossible for him to absorb Divine Sun's energy or Divine Universe Golden Stone's energy. He needs to absorb Divine Sun Blood Seed liquid. However, there was very little Divine Sun Blood Seed fluid. It was simply not enough. Qin Yun took out the 2 divine sun blood seeds given to him by Luo Ingtian and decided to start implementing his crazy idea of duplicating the divine sun blood seed. His nether sun has duplication ability. The stronger he is, the stronger the energy he can duplicate. As for whether or not he could replicate the divine sun blood seed, he believed that it was possible in theory, but he had to try to know. As long as I have a stable source of divine sun blood serum, I will be able to break through quickly. Even the 9 heavens Dharma spirits and the universe Dharma spirits have to plunder the universe's supermassive divine suns to find the divine sun blood seed. Qin Yun immediately began. Old brother Taisher was not sure if he could successfully replicate the divine sun blood seed, but he felt that it was worth a try. However, the price he had to pay was that he might lose the precious divine sun blood seed in his hands. I want to chat with more like-minded people about $article_title. Follow Yuri Literature on WeChat chatting about life and looking for a bosom friend. Chapter 33:25. Qin Yun released his nether sun and transferred it to the 9 sun divine souls nether sun pearl. The divine sun blood seed can only be formed by the extremely high pressure inside the divine sun. Qin Yun's nether sun is far from enough, so he needs to borrow the great nether sun inside the nether sun pearl. In addition, Ling Yun's nether sun is also needed. The fusion of 3 big and small nether suns will be even stronger, especially the nether sun's core. The cohesion will be even stronger. Ling Yun also released her soul into the core of the great nether Sunday. With her there, she can see the changes inside more clearly. Qin Yun took out a purple divine sun blood seed. It came from the core of a huge divine cosmos purple Sunday. It was only the size of a thumb. He placed the divine sun blood seed into the great nether sun in the nether sun pearl and then urged his nether sun to release the duplication power. If he wanted to replicate it, he had to first dissolve the divine sun blood seed. This process was extremely difficult. As the outer walls of the divine sun blood seed were very tough, it was very difficult to pierce through and extract the divine sun blood seed fluid, much less dissolve the entire divine sun blood seed. Originally, Qin Yun planned to extract the divine sun blood seed fluid drop by drop in an attempt to replicate it. However, he also considered that a drop of the divine sun blood seed was too small for the great nether sun core. It would be very difficult to precisely control it. Moreover, he wants to see if his nether sun core can dissolve this small drop of divine sun blood seed. Not only does he want to duplicate the divine sun blood seed, he also wants to duplicate the formidable outer wall of the divine sun blood seed. The process of dissolving was indeed very difficult. The great nether sun itself could produce a very strong dissolving power and form an extremely strong pressure. The divine sun blood seed inside the core was like grinding in an extremely strong millstone. Even so, the divine sun blood seed did not dissolve. Qin Yun can only strengthen the great nether sun's power and draw in other pearls' divine sun power. He drew in the divine universe purple sun, heavenly universe divine sun, white God sun, and primal chaos divine sun's power for the great nether sun to absorb. Qin Yun obtained nether sun's duplication ability from Bai Su Xin's white Sunday. So now that Bai Xinyang's power has joined in, it will be of great help. After the power of several divine suns entered the nether sun, the nether sun's ability to dissolve quickly increased. 2 days later, the divine sun blood liquid gradually dissolved, and the energy of the divine sun blood liquid inside was gradually released. Qin Yun immediately controlled his nether sun's replication ability to absorb the divine sun blood seed's energy. He wants to see if he can memorize this energy. If he could successfully memorize it, Qin Yun would be able to sense it. Nether sun has absorbed the dissolved divine sun blood seed's energy and is in the process of memorizing it. If it is a powerful energy, then it needs to absorb more to successfully memorize it, and then it could duplicate it. The energy of the divine sun blood seed was definitely very strong, and it would take some time to memorize it. It took the nether sun a few days to memorize this kind of energy. It absorbed almost all of the divine sun's energy. Qin Yun sensed that his nether sun has successfully replicated that kind of energy and became very excited in his heart. This means that the possibility of replicating the divine sun blood seed elixir has increased. Next was the little nether sun that he had cultivated himself. It needed to absorb energy and then create the divine sun blood liquid's energy. Finally, the great nether sun would release an extremely strong pressure to condense the divine sun blood seed. I don't lack energy. Qin Yun has many divine suns inside his 9-sun divine spirit. They can provide him with energy. The energy his nether sun is currently replicating is the divine space purple sun's divine sun blood seed. He also has the divine space purple sun. He only needs to let the purple sun pearl release energy into the nether sun pearl. The formation of divine sun blood seed shouldn't require a very large amount of energy. Even a very large divine space purple sun can only condense a very small divine sun blood seed. Qin Yun believes that his divine space purple sun's energy should be enough. The reason why the divine sun blood seed can be formed should be related to the divine sun law spirit's cultivation. The higher the divine sun law spirit perception is, the more it can cultivate and the bigger the divine sun blood seed will be. Old brother Taisher said, as for the required energy, it won't be too much, but it won't be too little either. Qin Yun's little nether sun has devoured a lot of divine space purple sun's energy, but even after a very long time, it is still unable to produce the divine sun blood seed's energy. 5 days passed, and Qin Yun gained nothing. The energy devoured by the little nether sun is unable to be transformed into the divine sun blood seed's energy. In the end, it can only be lost in the nether sun pearl, and then return to the purple sun pearl. Qin Yun has no choice but to stop. After several days of testing, he is certain that the divine space purple sun's energy is unable to be transformed into the divine sun blood seed's energy. Strange, I clearly used the divine sun blood seed condensed by the divine space purple sun. Qin Yun looked at the remaining blue divine sun blood seed in his hand. This is the heavenly universe divine suns. The one he put in before was purple. Luo Yingtian also said that it was obtained from a very large divine space purple Sunday. Maybe those super large divine suns don't use their own energy to cultivate and condense the divine sun blood seed. Old brother Taisher said, the divine sun can produce another kind of special energy, crystalline side. Divine space golden stone? Qin Yun said with a frown. These divine space golden stones are indeed produced by the divine sun. A very weak divine sun can only produce a very small piece of divine space golden stone inside. A super large divine sun, like the myriad realms divine sun, can not only produce a lot of divine space golden stone inside. The released energy can also be used to transform many stones into divine space golden stone. Qin Yun still has a few trillion divine space golden stones in his hands. In the previous few battles, as well as setting up formations, he used a few trillion. Although he has a lot of divine space golden stones in his hands, they will be used up after a period of time. He is still very lacking. Within the 9-sun Holy Land, there is a large amount of divine space golden stones. It is almost inexhaustible. Even if a treasure land is completely excavated, under the illumination of the myriad realms' divine sun's energy, it will appear again after a period of time. Qin Yun immediately transferred a large amount of divine space golden stones into the center of the Nether Sun Pearl's great Nether Sunday. He let Ling Yun control the divine space golden stones and pour them into his little Nether Sunday. Then, Qin Yun used the duplication ability. Just a bit more than an hour later, the little Nether Sun reacted and released a faint purple energy mist. Qin Yun is very happy. He promptly controlled the great Nether Sun to release its power, gathered the purple energy mist together, and began condensing it into a divine sun blood seed. After the little Nether Sun absorbed more than 100 billion divine space golden stones, the purple energy mist finally condensed into a rice grain-sized purple divine sun blood seed. Although it is very small, it means success. Very good. I finally succeeded. As long as I have a large amount of divine space golden stones, I can have even more divine sun blood seeds. Qin Yun is very excited. He needs a large amount of divine sun blood seeds to cultivate. This means that in the future, not only his body can return, his soul can also return. Even the divine sun inside the 9-sun divine spirit can return. At that time, his 9-sun divine spirit's divine sun might be the strongest in this universe. Chapter 33:26. Although Qin Yun is only thinking about it now, it is very possible. What he needs is time. He has already grasped the ability to quickly copy and create divine sun blood seed energy. If he has a large amount of divine universe golden stones, then he should be able to transform the core of the divine sun into a huge divine sun blood seed in the future. Once the core of the divine sun core is transformed into a divine sun blood seed, it is hard to imagine how powerful it will be. Qin Yun continued to copy and create divine sun blood seed. Now he wants to make a bigger one. With his previous experience, he is now even more proficient. This time, he used 5 trillion divine universe golden stones, which piled up like a huge mountain. However, the divine sun blood seed that was formed in the end was only the size of a thumb. Previously, in order to record it for the little Nether Sun, he melted a divine sun blood seed that was also this big. Now he finally got it back, and it is a bit bigger than the previous one. It is also purple in color. He continued to copy and created 2 more small divine sun blood seeds. In total, he used up 15 trillion divine universe golden stones. Now he only has about 200 billion divine universe golden stones left. Now, it is enough to cultivate Imperial Heaven Heart. The cultivation direction that Qin Yun comprehended in the Origin Realm is to cultivate the heart to become stronger. This requires the introduction of the divine sun blood seed. Extracting the liquid from the divine sun blood seed is very easy for Qin Yun. Ling Yun can do it herself. Qin Yun began absorbing the divine sun blood seed and introduced it into the Imperial Heaven Heart to refine it. My body is very strong to be able to withstand so many powerful attacks from the 9 heavens lost spirits. This means that my body should also be hiding an equally powerful power, but I am unable to release it. Qin Yun can only use his body to release a bit of powerless power. His body should still have a very powerful power, but it is as if it is invisible and difficult to sense. Now that he was cultivating the heart of Imperial Heaven, on one hand, he wanted to extract more power from his body while his heart was beating. On the other hand, he wanted to strengthen his Imperial Heaven power so that he could have greater control over the heavens and earth of the divine wilderness. There is a super large Nether Sun in the 9-sun sacred ground. It is definitely a very important place. Moreover, there are a large number of treasure lands in the 9-sun sacred ground. If he wants to obtain a large number of divine universe golden stones from these treasure lands, he must make his Imperial Heaven power even stronger. Qin Yun absorbed the divine, sun-blood seed liquid to cultivate. Time passed unknowingly. He himself did not notice it. The cultivation process is very comfortable. In a blink of an eye, 2 months had passed since Qin Yun entered the dark space. In the divine wilderness, great era of the heavens, the situation was unpredictable and there were frequent changes. Luo Yingtian, who was forced to kneel by Qin Yun not long ago, has now revived the Daluo Empire and is challenging the divine court of myriad realms. This was incomprehensible. Luo Yingtian clearly knelt before Qin Yun in front of many people. Not long after that, Luo Yingtian went against Qin Yun. Qin Yun had not appeared for a very long time, and the heavyweights of the empires and Grand Prime organizations all announced that Qin Yun had been killed by them. This matter caused a huge commotion in the beginning, but after calming down, many people did not believe it. According to their understanding of Qin Yun, this divine king would not be so easily killed. Also, if Qin Yun was really killed by the new humans, his body would definitely be hung up. None of the big shots in the new human camp could provide evidence that Qin Yun was killed. For example, Qin Yun had killed Azure Fire King and Crown Prince of Origin Luo in public. That was very convincing. The new human camp was so hostile to Qin Yun. If they could really kill Qin Yun, they would definitely record the process. However, they did not do so, so no one believed such a thing without evidence. It was true that Qin Yun had not appeared for a very long time. However, many people thought that it was normal for a big shot like Qin Yun to cultivate in seclusion from time to time. The most sensational matter in the Nine Sun Sacred Land was when Barbarian King led his barbarian race and announced that he was the leader of all the new human alliance in the Nine Sun Sacred Land. The four empires and Grand Prime forces also recognized him as the leader of the entire alliance. Just like that, the Nine Sun Sacred Land was ruled by the barbarian race. The divine court of myriad realms had just set up 100 cities in the Daluo Empire, but they quickly retreated. As for the Vermilion Bird Treasure Lands and the White Tiger Treasure Lands, they became very low-key and did not say anything at this time. The powerful races outside the Nine Sun Sacred Land were more or less worried because Qin Yun had entered the Nine Sun Sacred Land in a high-profile manner. They thought that his order would come to the Nine Sun Sacred Land, but not long after, it was beaten back to its original state. The patriarchs of the powerful races could understand. After all, they could not help much in such matters. It was all up to Qin Yun to fight alone. If he was really tired and injured, everyone could understand. The powerful races outside the Sacred Land were still very respectful of Qin Yun because the new human alliance inside the Sacred Land did not dare to come outside. The deterrence of the divine court of myriad realms was still there. Luo Shuang and Luo Shu were inside the Daluo Imperial Palace. They used to be hostile to each other, but they were now on Qin Yun's side, so they did not care about the past. They were now in Luo Yingtian's secret chamber. Luo Yingtian wanted to meet them in secret. Luo Shuang was still very confused. Although she was Qin Yun's person, she still knew nothing about the whole situation. She only felt that Luo Yingtian had suddenly become powerful, so he wanted to resist Qin Yun. Among my children, you two and Phoenix are the most outstanding. Phoenix will definitely not come to see me, so I can only let you come. Luo Yingtian suddenly appeared in the secret chamber. Luo Shuang and Luo Shu did not greet their father. They used to be very dissatisfied with their father. I know you all hate me, but now, just like you, I am his subordinate. Luo Yingtian said, I am not the divine king's subordinate, you are. Luo Shu snorted and immediately explained, we are allies. Luo Shuang and Luo Yingtian did not refute. After all, their souls were branded with Qin Yun's soul contract, but Luo Shu did not. I thought you had betrayed us. Luo Shuang said coldly, since you are still on this ship, why are you fighting against the divine court of myriad realms? You should be fighting against barbarian sovereign. Luo Shuang, your brain is sometimes so simple. Do you think I can defeat barbarian sovereign? Although I am fighting against the divine court of myriad realms, I did not do anything substantial. only shouted. The other empires all shouted like this. Who would dare to mess with the divine court of myriad realms now? Isn't that courting death? Luo Yingtian shook his head and smiled. Then why did you call us here? Luo Shu asked. I want to know the divine king's current situation. How is he? Luo Yingtian asked. You should be considered as his women? You should know his situation. Luo Shuang and Luo Shu snorted unhappily. I'm not his woman. I don't know his situation. Luo Shu immediately answered. Luo Yingtian, do you think everyone is like you, taking in one after another? Luo Shuang said coldly. I also don't know the divine king's situation. Chapter 33:27. Luo Yingtian was somewhat disappointed. He shrugged his shoulders and said, You guys are really disappointing. I'm guessing that Phoenix definitely has an affair with the divine king. She's better than you guys in this aspect. Luo Yingtian, you want to be the divine king's father-in-law? Luo Shuang sneered. Luo Shu was truly speechless. However, she was rather curious about the relationship between Qin Yun and Phoenix Queen because there were all sorts of rumors in the Vermilion Bird Treasure Ground. Let's get back to the main topic. Regarding the divine king's current situation, you should have heard something, right? Luo Yingtian couldn't find a direction because he was worried that barbarian sovereign would make him lead the great Luo Empire to attack the Nine Sun Sacred Land. Qin Yun's previous instructions were to let him act according to the circumstances and try his best to gain the trust of Nine Heavens Lost Spirits. Luo Yingtian had already gained the trust of Nine Heavens Lost Spirits. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given him the precious divine Sun Blood Seed. What's the current situation in the Nine Sun Sacred Land? Luo Shu asked. It's difficult for the Myriad Realms Divine Court to operate in the Nine Sun Sacred Land. At most, they can only build cities in the White Tiger and Vermilion Bird Treasure Lands. Once they leave these two regions, they will become targets. Luo Yingtian said, Barbarian Sovereign is now leading us Celestial Emperors and Taisher factions. Luo Yingtian was very dissatisfied with this. It wasn't just him, the other three Celestial Emperors were the same. However, they couldn't do anything because they weren't Barbarian Sovereign's match. Barbarian Sovereign had once lost to Nine Heavens Lost Spirits and was seriously injured. His injuries had yet to fully recover, but Luo Yingtian and the others still couldn't defeat Barbarian Sovereign. Facing the powerful Barbarian Sovereign, they could only submit. Right? Barbarian Sovereign isn't in a hurry to attack the Myriad Realms Divine Court. He wants to take down Nine Heavens Island. Luo Yingtian was also filled with doubts. Nine Heavens Lost Spirits had previously warned him to discuss with the other three Celestial Emperors to destroy Nine Heavens Island. He had indeed gone to discuss with the other three Celestial Emperors, but the final result was that they couldn't handle the matter. They could only hand the matter over to Barbarian Sovereign. Barbarian Sovereign only said that this matter needed everyone to work together and contribute resources to attack Nine Heavens Island. As for how to attack Nine Heavens Island, there was no plan yet. Why Nine Heavens Island? Logically speaking, the Vermilion Bird Paradise Lands and White Tiger Paradise Lands should be taken first. These two treasured lands belong to the divine court of the Myriad Realms, and they are within the Nine Sun Sacred Ground. The Barbarian Sovereign rules the Nine Sun Sacred Ground. If he uses these two treasured lands to establish his dominance, the other giants will be even more afraid of him. Luo Shu was also very puzzled. There are only two possibilities. The Nine Heavens Island is a great threat, or perhaps the Barbarian Sovereign is not strong enough. The Barbarian Sovereign said that he had fought with the Nine Suns Lost Spirit, and now that he has returned, he might have been injured. Luo Yingtian said, When you go back, send the information about the attack on Nine Heavens Island to the Divine Judge and the others. Luo Shuang and Luo Shu left immediately. Luo Shuang didn't need to deliver the information as she had her own important task, which was to collect information about Wang Tiange. She was sure that Wang Tiange had given up on her. She felt that she had made a great contribution to Wang Tiange, But now that Wang Tiange had turned his back on her, she wanted to get back at Wang Tiange. Qin Yun, who was cultivating in the dark space, gradually sensed the hidden power in his body as his heart of imperial heaven absorbed the divine sun blood seed. So that's how it is. After the origin realm, a very formidable power is sealed in the body. If one wants to control this power, one must first have a strong heart. Qin Yun also doesn't know how much power he has released. Previously, it was because of his hidden power that he was able to survive the fierce attack of the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit. After absorbing the rest of the divine sun blood seed, Qin Yun has already cultivated in the dark space for more than 3 months. The power of my right arm has been dug out. Qin Yun clenched his right fist. The power is much stronger than before. After pouring in the lawless power, the power became even more ferocious. It's not enough to defeat the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit, old brother Taisher said. But if it's against the barbarian sovereign, it definitely won't lose. Qin Yun closed his eyes and recalled the scene when he faced the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit. Fear emerged in his heart once again, but he immediately suppressed it. The Nine Suns Lost Spirit attacked the barbarian sovereign, so the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit attacked me. Now that we are even, if I go out and the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit attacks me again, the Nine Suns Lost Spirit will definitely appear to stop it. Qin Yun is somewhat depressed. The Nine Suns Lost Spirit attacked someone else's little brother, and now he's being beaten by someone else's boss. He secretly despises these two big shots. Wanted to have a good fight. What's the point of bullying the weak? This won't do. After I go out, I will ruthlessly beat up the barbarian sovereign. The Nine Heavens Lost Spirit injured me. I can't take this lying down. Qin Yun has been beaten up. He is filled with displeasure. Moreover, he just set up a trap in the Nine Suns sacred ground, and it was destroyed just like that. He wants to go back and reverse the situation. Wait a minute. Why did the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit lock onto me so quickly? How did he discover me? Qin Yun asked his old brother Taisher while holding the divine mirror of primal beginning. If he went out, he would definitely be discovered by the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit. He can't be found by the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit right now. Even if the Nine Suns Lost Spirit attacked him, he would be injured again if the Nine Suns Lost Spirit attacked him. Use lawless power, coordinate with the God King Heavenly Seal and the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern boxes to carve the Heavenly Rune characters. Old brother Taisher said, this move will definitely work. Qin Yun took out all his Bloodline Heavenly Pattern boxes and Godly Monarch Heavenly Seal. Then, he poured in his powerless power and formed a hidden heavenly pattern on the seal's surface. He placed a forceful imprint on the position of his heart, which could be considered an imprint on his own body. This should be enough. I'll go out and give it a try. If I'm still discovered, I'll hide in the dark space again. Qin Yun asked the little queen ant to escort him to the vicinity of the Vermilion Bird Treasure Ground. After coming out, he immediately sneaked into the Vermilion Bird Treasure Ground. He was worried that the magic mirror would be monitored, so he didn't use it to contact others. He first went to the Phoenix Queen's palace, found the Phoenix Queen, and asked her to help him secretly spread the news. Everything in the Vermilion Bird Treasure Ground was very calm. There was no attack, which surprised Qin Yun. His previous speculation was that the Vermilion Bird Treasure Grounds and the White Tiger Treasure Grounds would be attacked by the entire new human tribe, and they would have no choice but to leave the Nine Suns sacred ground. He arrived at the Phoenix Palace, but the Phoenix Queen was not there. However, he found General Chu Limin, who could be considered the second in command of the Phoenix Kingdom. Chu Limin was pleasantly surprised to see Qin Yun come to Phoenix Palace. Where's your queen? Qin Yun asked hurriedly. You went to Nine Heavens Island. The 4 great empires, the barbarian race, and many Taisher powers are attacking Nine Heavens Island together. Chu Limin said, the Myriad Realms Divine Court Alliance wants to protect Nine Heavens Island. What the hell? Qin Yun was stunned. Isn't Nine Heavens Island a Grand Prime force? Why were they besieged? Moreover, the Divine Court of the Myriad Worlds had to protect them. Divine King, you didn't know? Chu Limin saw that Qin Yun is fine and relaxed a lot. She is sure that the rumors were false. Because Qin Yin had not appeared for many days, rumors in the Nine Suns sacred ground said that he was finished. I have been in seclusion during this period of time, so I have cut off all contact with the outside world, Qin Yin replied. I want to chat with more like-minded people about $article_title. Follow Yuri Literature on WeChat, chatting about life and looking for a bosom friend. Chapter 33:28. When General Chu Limin saw Qin Yun's reaction, she felt extremely puzzled. From her point of view, the matter regarding Nine Heavens Island is very important, and Qin Yun should know about it. Nine Heavens Island has a very strong beast sealed. I heard that this beast's strength surpasses the divine space realm and is a very special existence. Chu Limin said, Barbarian Emperor and the others want to obtain this beast. If it really falls into their hands, it will be very bad. Qin Yun immediately thought that the beast might be the same as the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit. They both cultivated a very powerful body by absorbing the divine sun blood seed liquid. This time, the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit did not make a move. This meant that the Barbarian Emperor could handle this matter, or that the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit could not leave and would most likely fight with the Nine Sun Lost Spirit. General Chu, how much do you know about that hand? Who told you? Qin Yun asked. It was the Nine Heavens Island Master who asked us for help and then told us the details. Chu Limin said, when he found out that you were unable to come out, he was also very worried. Soon after, Chu Limin told Qin Yun the details. After Qin Yun finished listening, he immediately headed for Nine Heavens Island. There was no teleportation formation to directly reach Nine Heavens Island because Nine Heavens Island is currently in a multi-layered space. Nine Heavens Lost Spirit, don't even think about obtaining that beast. Last time, he seriously injured me and thought that I was finished. It won't be that easy. I want to let him know the consequences of provoking me. Not only does Qin Yun want to snatch that beast, he also wants to ruthlessly beat up the Barbarian Emperor. Nine Heavens Island is still within the Nine Sun Sacred Land. According to the Island Master, they need to borrow the energy within the Nine Sun Sacred Land for the beast to absorb and awaken. The reason why the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit was able to awaken before was because the various major powers had jointly injected energy into it, allowing it to break through the barrier of the Heavenly Tomb Mountain. The beast in Nine Heavens Island is not as powerful as the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit, so it doesn't need to absorb too much energy. These days, Nine Heavens Island has been secretly trying to awaken that beast, but in the end, it was still discovered by the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit. Could it be that the Universe Lost Spirit and the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit did not know that Nine Heavens Island had this beast? In that case, how did this beast grow to this stage? Qin Yun was even more puzzled. He wanted to know the specific situation of the beast. He could only understand it by seeing it. He flew quickly in the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Along the way, he used a magic mirror to contact the Grand Inquisitor, but he couldn't reach him. This meant that the multi-layered space where Nine Heavens Island was located was very powerful, and a magic mirror had lost contact with it after entering it. Qin Yun contacted Yushang Yun, but he could not contact her either. She should be inside the moon's core with the Divine Moon's little magic spirit. Finally, he contacted Nangong Shuru of the Guanghan Palace. He reported his safety to the Guanghan Palace so that they wouldn't worry. After flying for an entire day, the sky-leaping shuttle finally approached the spatial entrance where the Nine Heavens Island was. When Qin Yun arrived, he looked down at the ground from high up in the sky. He was extremely shocked because that space was under a very large sinkhole. This sinkhole was not man-made, but formed naturally. When the Nine Sun Sacred Ground was formed, there were multiple spaces inside the pit. The fact that it could maintain the operation of these multiple spaces meant that it was a very special super treasure ground. It was indeed not easy for the Nine Heavens Island to find this place. After Qin Yun came out of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to conceal himself, he paid attention to the surroundings of the 10,000-meter wide sinkhole. From time to time, he discovered some people flying around. He looked from afar and determined that those people are from the new beginning human camp. It seems like all the big shots have gone in. Chinyan didn't sense any experts in the vicinity, so he entered the sinkhole. After going down, he quickly sensed that he has entered another space. His surroundings also turned white. Chinyan looked down and discovered that he's rapidly falling down and there's a spatial barrier below. Just like this, he fell down and finally passed through 18 layers of space and landed in a dense forest. This space is very powerful, old brother Taishur said. There are a total of 18 layers. Although it is a special spatial treasure ground that was born along with the 9 Sun sacred ground, I guess that it was created by divine desolate's consciousness. If this is a treasure ground, why is there no barrier? It is impossible for such a powerful treasure ground to not have a barrier, Chinyan doubtfully said, then took out the soul-chasing talisman used to track down the divine judge. Very quickly, he determined the direction of the divine judge. There must be a barrier, it's just that the barrier has disappeared. Only by controlling this treasure ground can the barrier stop. Old brother Taishur warned. You have to be careful, this might be a trap. Chinyan carefully thought about it, and can't help but shiver. This is the 18 layers of space. Moreover, a large number of divine desolate experts have gathered here. If they were trapped here and devoured, it would indeed be a very big trap. It is as if someone is deliberately hunting this group of divine desolate experts. Chinyan also made the connection that there was a beast here. Could it be that the beast was secretly instructing 9 Heavens Island Lord to deliberately lure the experts from the divine wilderness over? If the 9 Heaven Island surrenders to the myriad realms' divine court, then the divine judge will indeed come in contact with the 9 Heaven Island Master. Chinyan began to worry. He can only speed up and fly to the divine judge's side. He must find them as soon as possible. Many experts from a myriad realms' divine court have come this time, such as the Heavenly Dragon Emperor Long Shu, Dragon Turtle King, Phoenix Queen, 9 Dragon King, and other big shots of powerful races and kingdoms. The 9 Heaven Island Master must have promised a very generous reward, or there's a huge benefit here. That's why they took such action. Chinyan can see 2 golden suns in this 18-layer space. He can't be sure if it is the little divine sun in this space, or if it is just an illusion. He flew for half a day, and after flying out of the forest, he looked at the 2 golden suns in the sky and discovered that they did not move at all. It seems like they are there to illuminate this space. However, he can sense the energy of the divine sun. Could it be that there is no night in this space? Chinyan flew out of the forest and arrived above a large swamp. The swamp seems to be filled with danger. He did not go down to avoid wasting time. This space is very strange. You have to be careful. Old brother Taishur warned and also controlled the divine mirror of Primal beginning to shake. Got it. Just as Chinyan finished speaking, the swamp below suddenly spewed out black gas. The black gas was filled with a foul stench, and at the same time, it was accompanied by an aura that Chinyan felt was very familiar with. This is the aura of the heavenly poison divine sun? Chinyan said in surprise. The heavenly poison divine sun is also a very rare type of divine Sunday. He has the sun seed of the heavenly poison divine sun, but he never knew how to create this kind of divine Sunday. Chapter 33:29. Why is there the aura of the heaven-poisoned divine sun here? Chinyan looked at the black gas that spewed out from time to time. He was extremely shocked. This heaven-poisoned divine sun's aura was extremely dense. It was definitely not something that a small portion of it could release. Chinyan used the divine mirror of Grand beginning to illuminate the swamp below, allowing old brother Taishur to take a closer look. Could there be a small heaven-poisoned divine sun sealed below? Chinyan asked. It's not a small heaven-poisoned divine sun sealed, but a core. From this aura, this should be a very complete and very powerful divine sun core. Old brother Taishur became excited and said, Chinyan, you must obtain this core. With this thing and the sun seed of the heaven-poisoned divine sun in your hand, you can quickly create a heaven-poisoned divine Sunday. Qin Yun had originally planned on giving Barbarian Sovereign a beating, but he never expected to encounter a heaven-poisoned divine sun core. This was a very unexpected harvest. But why is there a heaven-poisoned divine sun core here? Qin Yun said in puzzlement. This 18 space was naturally formed. Could the heaven-poisoned divine sun core have always been here? Qin Yun floated in the air as he looked at the boundless land around him. Among the 18 spaces, there was such a vast piece of land. This was also not naturally formed. Then there was only one possibility. This land was Nine Heavens Island. The core of the heaven-poisoned divine sun was sealed in Nine Heavens Island. The reason why Qin Yun was able to come into contact with the heaven-poisoned divine sun was mainly because of a chance encounter. He encountered a fragment of the heaven-poisoned divine sun that fell onto the land of the divine moon of the heavens. At that time, he obtained the sun seed from the fragment. Furthermore, through the heaven-poisoned divine sun's energy, he researched the soul lost due. It was mainly used to deal with those souls that were difficult to kill, such as the descendants of the divine sun. As long as the heaven-poisoned divine sun's energy was used properly, it could be used to exterminate the descendants of the divine sun. The heaven-poisoned divine sun was a very rare type of divine sun, and it was completely extinct because of this reason. Qin Yun thought of the descendants of the divine sun. They were a huge hidden danger. Currently, they were only in the ancestor divine sun, second divine sun, and three divine Sunday. Ever since the appearance of the four divine suns, the descendants of the divine suns were unable to invade the interior of the divine suns. This was mainly because when Qin Yun created the four divine suns, he accidentally made the subsequent divine suns naturally resist the invasion of the divine sun's descendants. If there were 9 myriad worlds divine suns in the future, and 3 of them were destroyed by the descendants of the divine suns, it would be enough to trigger the destruction of the other divine suns. Where did this 9 Heavens Island come from? To actually seal such a powerful heavenly poisoned divine sun core. Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye to carefully investigate the core and then let Ling Yun come out. Ling Yun was now considered half a divine sun's Dharma spirit. She could sense if there was a spirit body in the divine sun's core. There are no spirit bodies in this divine sun core. It's an empty divine sun core. Ling Yun said excitedly, Xiao Yun, let's take this core now, put it into the 9 yang divine soul, and then put in the sun seed. After feeding it for a period of time, a heavenly poisoned divine sun will appear. Ling Yun naturally knew about Qin Yun's 9 sun divine spirits cultivation plan. He needed a total of 9 divine suns to reach the large success stage. Qin Yun floated in midair, his heart stirred. Suddenly, Qin Yun felt a trace of danger. Yun, quickly go in. Qin Yun immediately placed Ling Yun into the 9 sun divine spirit. Just as Ling Yun entered the 9 sun divine spirit, a white-robed old man with straight black hair appeared behind Qin Yun. The old man's face is slightly wrinkled. His eyebrows and beard are white, but he has waist-length jet black hair. 9 Heavens Island Master? Qin Yun asked uncertainly when he saw the old man. He has never seen the 9 Heavens Island Master before. Furthermore, he heard that the 9 Heavens Island Master has many faces. He is not sure what he looks like. Divine King, you're finally here. 9 Heavens Island Master stroked his beard and said with a smile, Barbarian Emperor personally told me that you're finished. Are you really all right? He still suspects that Qin Yun's condition is not good enough because he can't see through Qin Yun. Qin Yun also said with a smile, 9 Heavens Island Master, do you think I look like I'm seriously injured? Doesn't look like it. 9 Heavens Island Master shook his head and said with a smile, because you plan to steal the heavenly poison divine sun core below. Steal. Qin Yun scratched his head and said with a laugh, 9 Heavens Island Master, your words are somewhat unpleasant to hear. The heavenly poison divine sun core belongs to my 9 Heavens Island. 9 Heavens Island Master said with a chuckle, I thought it didn't have an owner. Qin Yin very much wants to take away the heavenly poison divine sun core. This is a great opportunity. However, the Nine Heavens Island Master before him is very strange. He is not confident that he can take away the heavenly poison divine sun core in front of this guy. If you want it, I can give it to you, Nine Heavens Island Master said with beaming smile. But I have two conditions. What conditions? Qin Yin raised his eyebrows and asked with a smile. First, I want a divine sun blood seed. Second, help me drive away Barbarian Emperor. Nine Heavens Island Master suddenly said very seriously. This heavenly poison divine sun core is something I risked my old life to secretly leave here. The universe lost spirit still doesn't know about this matter. Qin Yun is very curious about Nine Heavens Island Master and asked, Island Master, are you friend or foe? I am the same as you. I want to walk the path I want to walk. Nine Heavens Island Master said, Actually, I am not a human. I am a spirit body of special space, but I have never been able to transform into a real human. The me you see is a puppet body formed from all kinds of materials. Special space spirit body? Qin Yun somewhat understands the existence of this Nine Heavens Island. So Nine Heavens Island is a space, and it even produced its own spirit body. This is indeed very special. I can fulfill both of your conditions, but I have one thing to understand. How did Barbarian Emperor and the others come in? Don't these 18 layers of space have any barrier? Qin Yun asked. When I came in, I was very relaxed. It made me feel like this is a trap. If they can't come in, they will definitely attack. This 18-layer space is a very rare child. I don't want it to be destroyed because of this. So I set up a trap and waited for Barbarian Emperor and the others to come in. But I underestimated their strength. Nine Heavens Island Master let out a long sigh. He looked at the two golden suns in the sky and said, When you came in, I sensed it, but I couldn't be sure. Because even I thought that you had already been killed by the Nine Heavens lost spirit. Currently, only Qin Yun can fight against Barbarian Emperor. Even if he can't defeat Barbarian Emperor, as long as he can keep him in check, the rest will not be a problem. I'll take this core first, Qin Yun said. Only after obtaining this core can I be more at ease to fight Barbarian Emperor. All right, Nine Heavens Island Master readily agreed. He also knows that Qin Yun still doesn't trust him and is afraid of being tricked. After Nine Heavens Island Master agreed, he waved his hand and the swamp suddenly stopped moving up and down. Then a huge black ball slowly floated up. This huge ball emitted a deep black-purple aura. The poisonous aura it spewed out swept up waves of furious howling gale. Many tyrannical energy aura collided and produced dark purple lightning. Chapter 33:30. The heavenly poison divine sun's core slowly floated in the air. This core is much larger than Qin Yun imagined, and its quality is also very high. God King, I believe that with your ability, even without this core, you will definitely be able to create the heavenly poison divine Sunday. But that will take a very long time. In the universe, the heavenly poison divine sun is almost extinct. You definitely won't be able to find a second one. Nine Heaven Island Lord's eyes are filled with sadness. He raised his head to look at the core as if he is recalling something. It can be seen that the core of the heavenly poison divine sun has a story. This should be the last core of the heavenly poison divine Sunday. Back then, I paid a huge price to secretly take it away. Qin Yun said, I can chase away Barbarian Emperor, protect your Nine Heaven Island, and give you a divine sun blood seed. The price you paid back then was not in vain, right? In order to take away this core, your main goal is still the divine sun blood seed, right? Nine Heaven Island Lord did not deny it. He nodded and said, Indeed, for the divine sun blood seed, I obtained a small bit, only the size of a grain of sand. However, I still didn't understand how to use it. The heavenly poison divine sun also has a divine sun blood seed. Is the heavenly poison divine sun blood seed still there? Qin Yun immediately asked. He believes that since the heavenly poison divine sun is so special, Then the divine sun bloodseed liquid must also be very special. Nine Heaven Island Lord took out a large black box. It is as tall as two people. It can be seen that the box is sealed with layers of barriers. It's still here, but it's very dangerous. I'll give it to you along with the heavenly poison divine sun's core. Nine Heaven Island Lord controlled the box to float towards Qin Yun. Qin Yun accepted the box and a few jade talismans. They're used to unlock the box's seal. God King, how are you going to take away this core? Nine Heaven Island Lord said. The aura of the heavenly poison divine sun must have leaked out. Barbarian Emperor and the others will definitely be able to sense it. You better act quickly. Qin Yun is still very cautious about this. He did not immediately keep the nine sun divine spirit. Instead, he entered the core of the core to check if there was anything hidden inside to avoid trouble. Previously, the nine sun divine spirit's evil sun core had the consciousness of the universe lost spirit. After a series of detailed inspection, Qin Yun confirmed that there was no problem with the core. Then, he placed it inside a pearl of the nine yang divine soul and named it Sky Poison Pearl. The conditions for the formation of the Sky Poison divine sun are very harsh. Even the universe's magical spirit doesn't understand how it is formed. However, as long as the core exists, then with enough energy, this Sky Poison divine sun can be reborn, said Nine Heavens Island Lord. Qin Yun nodded. He had the sun seed of the heavenly poison divine sun, but to create a heavenly poison divine sun from scratch was indeed very difficult. Let's go. Take me to the barbarian emperor. Qin Yun said, after I chase him away, I'll give you a divine sun blood seed. Qin Yun only had one divine sun bloodline, but it was the heavenly cosmos divine sun bloodline. He wanted to keep it as a sample for replication. Therefore, he had to find some time to duplicate the divine universe purple sun blood seed. Only then could he give it to Nine Heavens Island Lord. There was no contract in this transaction, but Qin Yun and Nine Heavens Island Lord trusted each other. He should be coming, the Nine Heavens Island Lord said. I released the seal just now and let the core float in order to lure the barbarian sovereign over. Qin Yun looked around and said, this swamp is indeed very suitable for fighting. He has now occupied the most central area of my Nine Heavens Island. If you fight in the central area, it will be razed to the ground. Divine King, when you fight him, try your best not to let him run around. Nine Heavens Island Lord said. Actually, Nine Heavens Island Lord doesn't want any part of the island to be destroyed. He is the spirit of the island. The island is his body. I will conceal myself first. I want to see if he can sense me or not. Qin Yun finished speaking and immediately concealed himself. His body has a very powerful concealment, heavenly rune character. If Barbarian Sovereign can't sense him, it means that by using lawless power and bloodline heavenly rune box to carve the concealment, heavenly rune character, all aspects will be greatly improved. Nine Heavens Island Lord nodded and floated in the sky, waiting for Barbarian Sovereign to arrive. His body is just a puppet body refined from all kinds of materials. It doesn't matter if it is destroyed, so he is not afraid at all. As expected, Barbarian Sovereign arrived. Moreover, he is very leisurely, as if he is not in a hurry. After all, in Nine Heavens Island, Barbarian Sovereign is the strongest. He can crush anyone, so Nine Heavens Island is like his back garden. Barbarian Sovereign is very handsome. His face is like jade. His long hair is fluttering in the wind. He is wearing white clothes that emit faint silver light, making him look like a handsome man who walked out of a painting. His aura is very strong. He slowly flew over with a folding fan in hand. Nearby him are the celestial emperors of the four empires, as well as many big shots of Taisher powers. When Qin Yun saw Barbarian Sovereign, he mumbled in his heart, really good at acting. After Barbarian Sovereign saw Nine Heavens Island Lord, he faintly smiled and said, I really didn't expect Island Lord to have such a generous gift. Thank you so much. This must be the core of the heavenly poison divine sun, right? Nine Heavens Island Lord is somewhat astonished because Barbarian Sovereign didn't discover Qin Yun hiding nearby. This made him secretly excited. After all, even Barbarian Sovereign didn't discover Qin Yun. It means that Qin Yun is a level higher. Now that you are here, aren't you afraid that big guy will suddenly wake up? Nine Heavens Island Lord said with smile. No, even if that beast wakes up, it will be mine in the end. What's more, Nine Heavens Island Lord, you will definitely help me look after it. Moreover, there's also the Divine Judge and the others guarding it. Barbarian Sovereign chuckled and said, they're talking about the mysterious beast sealed by Nine Heavens Island. Barbarian Sovereign, I indeed want to give the core of the heavenly poison divine sun as a gift, but not to you, because you don't deserve it. Nine Heavens Island Lord said, I don't deserve it? Then who is worthy? Nine Heavens Law Spirit? Nine Heavens Law Spirit? Universe Law Spirit? Barbarian Sovereign slightly frowned and said, I want to give it to the Divine King. Nine Heavens Island Lord said, oh. Nine Heavens Island Lord is startled, then said with smile, so it is for me. I am now the Divine King of Divine Desolate. Nine Heavens Law Spirit and Universe Law Spirit support me. Nine Heavens Island Lord coldly snorted and said, you are from the outer verse. What's more, who among the powerful native races of Divine Desolate will submit to you? If anyone doesn't submit, I will beat them until they submit. No, if anyone doesn't submit, I will exterminate them. Barbarian Sovereign said with smile, Nine Heavens Island Lord, do you submit to me now? Nine Heavens Island Lord is very anxious because Qin Yun has not made a move yet, making him think that Qin Yun has already slipped away. He is also unable to sense whether Qin Yun is here or not. Divine King of Divine Desolate, other than Qin Yun, I will not submit to anyone. Nine Heavens Island Lord shouted loudly. He is reminding Qin Yun, the Divine King, that it is time to take action. I want to chat with more like-minded people about. $_title. WeChat follows YouTube literature. Chat about life. Find a bosom friend. Chapter 33-31. Qin Yun still hasn't made a move. This made Nine Heaven Island Lord sweat profusely. He can't help but suspect that Qin Yun secretly slipped away. If Qin Yun really slipped away, then it would be a great loss. Ha ha ha! Barbarian Emperor laughed heartily, as if he heard a joke. The people beside him also laughed. Luo Yingtian also came, but it's only a clone. Moreover, it's a very powerful clone. Only Qin Yun can see that it's a powerful true body that Luo Yingtian has just cultivated. Of course, Qin Yun didn't slip away. The main reason why he is still here is to test the limit of the invisible heavenly rune. He is approaching Barbarian Emperor bit by bit. He wants to test the range of Barbarian Emperor's perception. That's why he hasn't made a move yet. Nine Heaven Island Lord. Qin Yun was once the Divine King of Divine Desolate. Only those weaklings outside the sacred land acknowledge him. He's nothing but a chicken head. We have never acknowledged him as the Divine King. Now, we only acknowledge Lord Barbarian Emperor among all the Divine Desolate's Divine Kings. The one who spoke is Supreme Palace Lord, the Supreme Hall used to lick the boots of the Daluo Empire, but now the four empires were led by the Barbarian Emperor. The big shots of the Taisher powers and the celestial emperors of the empires had to be polite to the 10 barbarian kings. The Divine King is in seclusion. He will come soon. To tell you the truth, he has already made an agreement with me to research that mysterious ancient beast together. Nine Heaven Island Lord became even more anxious seeing that Qin Yun still hasn't shown up. Oh, when did that happen? The smile on Barbarian Emperor's face suddenly disappeared because only he knew that although Qin Yun had been defeated by the Nine Heavens Lost Spirit, there was no corpse and his soul could not be found. Barbarian Emperor once asked Nine Heaven Lost Spirit whether Qin Yun was truly killed or not. Nine Heaven Lost Spirit didn't give a direct answer and only said that Qin Yun is finished. That's why Barbarian Emperor only said that Qin Yun is finished. He didn't say anything about Qin Yun being killed. Just a few days ago, Divine King's condition is pretty good. He chatted with me and even gave me pointers. Nine Heaven Island Lord said with a smile. Barbarian Emperor became vigilant. He is no longer as arrogant as before. Everyone was stunned when they saw the Barbarian Sovereign's reaction. They all thought that Qin Yun had been killed. The fact that the Barbarian Sovereign was so vigilant after learning that Qin Yun had come to find Nine Heavens Island Lord meant that Qin Yun's death was not as simple as it seemed. Suddenly, an extremely powerful mental energy enveloped the area. Everyone felt as if their souls were being squeezed by someone. Just when everyone was panicking, the bloodthirsty Barbarian King beside the Barbarian Emperor said in a deep voice, "This is the Barbarian Emperor's mental power. Everyone, don't be nervous." Even Nine Heavens Island Lord thought that it was Qin Yun who had taken action. He was originally very happy when he felt the powerful mental power pressure, but when he found out that it was Barbarian Sovereign, he felt even more uneasy. Now, everyone knew why the Barbarian Sovereign released such a powerful mental power. It was the sense if Qin Yun was nearby. Barbarian Sovereign closed his eyes and focused on sensing his surroundings. He was truly worried that Qin Yun was nearby. The main reason was that he was seriously injured in the battle with the Nine-Yang Law Spirit. Especially the injuries on his body, it was difficult for him to recover in a short period of time. If Qin Yun came, he might not be able to defeat him. On the other hand, Qin Yun's strength is unfathomable. Barbarian Sovereign seriously asked the Nine Heaven Law Spirit who was stronger between him and Qin Yun. The Nine Heaven Law Spirit directly replied that it was Qin Yun. After a while, Barbarian Sovereign retracted his mental power and said, "Qin Yun is not nearby." Nine Heavens Island Lord's heart turned cold. He now truly believes that Qin Yun has already run away. Nine Heavens Island Lord, you can now hand over the heavenly poisoned Divine Sun's core. Barbarian Sovereign said seriously, "This core should have belonged to the Universe Law Spirit back then, right? It was just that you secretly hid it. I advise you to cooperate a bit. That core has already been taken away by the Divine King." Nine Heavens Island Lord sighed and said, "Not long ago." Everyone was in an uproar at first. Then they started cursing in disdain, thinking that the Nine Heavens Island Lord was lying. "Really?" Barbarian Sovereign asked with frown. "Then where did he go?" "Really? He said that he would drive you out. I also don't know where he went. I made a deal with him and gave him the core. He promised to help me drive you out," Nine Heavens Island Lord said with a bitter smile. Barbarian Sovereign's expression gradually turned grave because he believed in Nine Heavens Island Lord's words. Right now, he had a feeling that he was being watched by something. However, he was unable to determine if this feeling was caused by his heart or not. Nine Heavens Law Spirit had once said that his strength was inferior to Qin Yun's, so he had always had this knot in his heart. Qin Yun watched from the shadows. Just now, he also felt that Barbarian Sovereign's mental power was indeed very strong, but he was still unable to discover him. The power of the heaven concealing rune far exceeded his imagination. Of course, this heaven concealing rune also has a time limit. He only carved it into his body, and after a period of time, it would dissipate and he would need to carve it again. It's time to make my move. I really didn't expect that this guy, Barbarian Sovereign, would actually be a bit afraid of me. When he sees my face that is even more handsome than his, he will definitely feel even more inferior. Qin Yun thought to himself. He raised his hand and instantly condensed a sky-piercing finger force and shot towards Supreme Palace Master. It was this guy who just said that Qin Yun was a chicken head. Everyone sensed the sudden appearance of this formidable power, but they were unable to react in time. Because it was too fast, it was as if a beam of light had suddenly shot over. By the time everyone reacted, the divine universe within Supreme Palace Master's body had already been penetrated. What was even more terrifying was that after this attack pierced through Supreme Palace Master, it actually continued to shoot towards the back, piercing through the bodies of several small leaders of the Taisha faction. Qin Yun's body also appeared. Everyone could see that his 2 fingers were currently flowing with a weak remnant of energy. Just now, he had used these 2 fingers to instantly pierce through many people's bodies. As expected, Qin had come. Furthermore, he had appeared so suddenly, catching the big shots of the new founder's camp off guard. The Nine Heavens Island Lord was extremely excited. He secretly cursed himself for being too noob. He actually thought that Qin had run away. At this moment, he admired Qin even more. After concealing himself, he was actually not discovered by Barbarian Sovereign. The most terrifying thing was that Qin was only 10 meters away from Barbarian Sovereign. To an expert like Barbarian Sovereign, this distance was as if he was standing in front of him. However, he did not discover any enemies. When Barbarian Sovereign saw Qin, he also felt that Qin's current condition was extremely good. After seeing Qin, Barbarian Sovereign's heart was not flustered. He was even a little excited. His eyes were filled with burning battle intent. Barbarian Sovereign found out from the Nine Heavens Law Spirit that his strength was inferior to Qin's, so he was very unconvinced. If he wanted to prove that he was stronger than Qin, he had to defeat Qin. This opportunity was right in front of him. Chapter 33-32. Qin's sudden appearance caused the bigwigs to flee in all directions like birds and beasts. With their present strength, there was no way they could resist Qin. They were not much stronger than the Supreme Palace Master, but the Supreme Palace Master was crippled by Qin. Supreme Palace Master's internal divine universe had already been destroyed by Qin. His body could only barely float in the air. There was no way for him to escape quickly. Qin casually pointed with his finger again and unleashed the power of the exploding heaven finger, shattering the body of the Supreme Palace Master. He didn't even look over and killed the Supreme Palace Master. The Barbarian Emperor did not stop Qin. In his eyes, it did not matter how many of these people died. Your injuries are not light. Qin sized up the Barbarian Sovereign and said, "You're also heavily injured. You were severely injured by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit before. Even if you look to be in good condition now, your internal injuries definitely haven't fully recovered." Barbarian Emperor said, "We're even now." Barbarian Sovereign was injured by the Nine Suns Law Spirit, and Qin was injured by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. Qin only smiled. He felt even more confident. The reason for that was because not only had his injuries completely healed, his cultivation base had also increased by quite a bit. He had cultivated the heavenly imperial heart before, allowing him to unleash the power within his arms. But Barbarian Emperor could not see this point. Instead, he thought that Qin was injured. In addition, he had not fully recovered from the serious injuries caused by the Nine Yang Law Spirit. If they fought, he would definitely be at a disadvantage. Currently, there are only slightly more than 100 people with our strength in this universe. In the Gods Desolate, there are only a few of them. We should have been on the same side. The Barbarian Emperor said. Qin was secretly astonished. In this universe, there were actually more than 100 people who possessed strength that surpassed the divine space realm. Were they created by the universe's law spirit? It wasn't easy to form the divine desolate heavens. You guys should join our camp and protect the divine desolate heavens together. Qin's position was to prioritize the divine wilderness in the heavens. As for the Barbarian Sovereign and the Dharma spirits of the Nine Heavens, they listened to the Dharma spirits of the universe. No one knew what the universe's Dharma spirit's ultimate goal was. But what was certain was that the universe's law spirit had been destroying the order of the gods desolate. Barbarian Emperor took out a long saber. When Qin saw the saber, he recalled the powerful divine weapon used by the Nine Heavens Law Spirit. They were all refined with the divine Sunblood seed and were extremely sturdy. He didn't have a divine weapon of the same level yet, so he could only face the Barbarian Emperor with his bare hands. In the Gods Desolate, other than the Nine Heavens Law Spirits and the Nine Suns Law Spirits, you and I are the strongest. Let's take this opportunity to decide who's better. If you lose, hand over the heaven-poisoned Divine Sun's core. If I lose, I will retreat from this place. Barbarian Emperor said, I've defeated you. Even if you don't want to scram, you still have to scram. Are you going to stay here and not leave? Besides, if you lose, whether or not you can survive is another matter. Why do you have to bet with me? Qin Yun said with a smile, Barbarian Emperor, if you lose, you have to give me something or you can forget about leaving alive. When the people who fled into the distance heard this, they were all astonished. Qin Yun actually looked down on the Barbarian Emperor. They all felt very uncomfortable in their hearts because previously it was the 9 heavens lost spirits who said that Qin Yun was finished. They all thought that it was true, but now, not only is Qin Yun not finished, he is still alive and kicking, crazily provoking the Barbarian Emperor. I'm very poor. I don't have anything to give you. Barbarian Emperor said, if I lose, it won't be a problem for me to survive. I can even destroy this 18-layer space. Do you believe me? How about this? If we lose, we'll kill each other. Let's bet our lives. Do you dare to bet? Qin Yun said it very casually. No. Barbarian Emperor is a little afraid. He doesn't dare to bet. Your saber is not bad. If you lose, give me your saber, then bring these guys out of this space, and give me all the territories of the Great Luo Empire and the Huoling Empire. After that, let's stop fighting for a period of time. How about it? As Qin Yun spoke, he kept staring at the saber in Barbarian Emperor's hand. If you lose, give me the heaven-poisoned Divine Sun's core. After that, leave the 9 Heavens Island and don't interfere in the matters here. How about it? Barbarian Emperor tightly gripped the saber in his hand. This was indeed the most valuable thing on him. All right, then we won't establish a soul contract. When the time comes, whoever doesn't abide by it will die. Qin Yun said, the people of the Huoling Empire are all very unhappy in their hearts because they didn't agree to this at all. However, they didn't dare to say anything. If Barbarian Emperor really lost, they could only accept it. Luo Yingtian's avatar doesn't matter. After all, he is Qin Yun's chess piece. He just needs to take care of himself. You don't have a weapon. I'll let you make the first move. Barbarian Emperor said. He really doesn't want to take advantage of Qin Yun. He knows very well that the reason why Qin Yun didn't take out a weapon is because he doesn't have a suitable one. Qin Yun wants Barbarian Emperor's saber. It means that he really needs this kind of weapon. Barbarian Emperor knows that the 9 Heaven Lost Spirit defeated Qin Yun, but he doesn't know the process of the battle. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let Qin Yun make the first move. After Qin Yun was defeated by the 9 Heaven Lost Spirit, he escaped into the dark space to cultivate for a period of time. After cultivating the Imperial Heaven Heart, he dug out the power of his powerful body, especially the power of his right arm. Previously in the battle with the 9 Heaven Lost Spirit, Qin Yun's body was heavily hit by the weapon many times, but his body was still not cut by the weapon. This means that his body can resist this kind of weapon. This guy's strength is not as good as the 9 Heaven Lost Spirit. His saber is comparable to the weapon of the 9 Heaven Lost Spirit. So if he uses this saber to slash at my body, he definitely won't be able to injure me. Qin Yun plans to go over and test how much his arm has improved. No one could predict the outcome of this battle. Everyone present belonged to the new human camp, so they naturally hoped that Barbarian King would win. However, they could see that Barbarian King was not confident. Qin Yun flew over. His speed is very slow, and he doesn't have any tools in his hand. Everyone is shocked. Barbarian Emperor wants Qin Yun to attack first, so he should attack from afar. After all, he doesn't have a weapon. But Qin Yun chose the most reckless method. He directly used his bare hands to fight in close combat. Even Barbarian Emperor is very surprised. Qin Yun actually came over to fight in close combat, and even threw a punch. Are you stupid? Barbarian Emperor's handsome face is also filled with bewilderment. Then, he slashed his saber at Qin Yun's arm. From his point of view, Qin Yun is giving his arm to him to chop. The power of Barbarian Emperor's saber is very strong. When it was slashed out, it released an extremely strong energy wave that caused air waves to howl in all directions. However, such a powerful saber was blasted away by Qin Yun's fist. Qin Yun used his fist to deliberately charge at the sharp blade. Not only was it not chopped into pieces, it even blasted the saber away, creating a violent shockwave. Barbarian Emperor and Qin Yun were both sent flying. Qin Yun is fine, but Barbarian Emperor is quite frightened. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.